For the 500th time. The world is a better place because you are here to join us. My name is Matt Brown, and I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. And I am so thankful to have each and every single one of you here to celebrate this 500th show. And we're going to do what we do best, just have a productive conversation on what's going on in our lives right now. So joining me today, we got Ryan, Andy, and Jose. What's up, gentlemen?
How's it going? How's it going?
So, fellas,
Live, laugh, love, go Yankees.
Yeah,
Yankees.
this is fun. I just put that. I put some of my favorite things for this celebration. This is a Jeter T-shirt behind here.
Bro, I got an A-Rod. It's a youth. It does not fit me anymore, but it's an '09.
Fuck it.
It's an '09 World Series A-Rod that I pull out for special occasions, and the 500th is absolutely the special occasion to pull this jersey out for.
Yes, it is.
Indeed.
Ryan is wearing a shirt.
Henley. That's right. I wear Henley all the time, except for when I'm wearing a t-shirt. Those are the only two shirts that I own. Just about. I have other things for work and whatnot, but by and large, it's a Henley or a t-shirt, depending on the temperature outside. Yeah, I don't have any sports gear on, but let's say I got Drake over Missouri, so go Drake.
I also have Drake over Missouri. Great.
And Jose's wearing an Eiffel Tower.
Cute cat in Alpha Tower.
Oh yeah. We can see the. We'll get into that, won't we?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
that one's
will.
on the list there.
It's on the list.
But yes, but in all seriousness, this is a great day. And before we say anything else, as always, just want to remind you to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcasting platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check out exclusive content regarding this show across all social media platforms. We're on Instagram at Productive Conversations Podcast, X at Prod Cobble Pod, we're on TikTok at Productive Conversations, and Facebook and YouTube at Productive Conversations. But yes, on October 20th, 2020, amongst a million things going on in the world right now, was the first episode of the Productive Conversations podcast that dropped. In fact, the first of three, with Brittany Brown Braffin and Ryan Page. I'm glad we're still all in my life and talked every day. 497 shows later, we're here. Covered 4.5 years of this entire country's sports news and entertainment and culture. And now that we are crossing this special mark, first things first, just from me, thank you to everybody who has ever listened, who's ever watched, who's ever shared, who's ever commented, and who's ever been a part of any of our recordings. Thank you for having us get to this milestone. And especially my special hosts who've been with me the most, Ryan and Jose. Special thank you to you guys, especially. Thank you to Dolo, who is our big behind the scenes guy here. Huge love here. And also, as you can see, and in his second consecutive appearance, but also our new collaborator, Andy Viviano. Thank you for joining us
That's
right at 498.
Hey,
Good
thank
time to
you.
join for that.
Hey, listen, I
500
jumped
journey.
in right at the right time. I'm big into crypto, so I'm huge into buy low, sell high. That's where we're at right now. I'm buying low into productive conversations, but don't you worry, gentlemen, we're going to be selling way high. No, I'm so honored to join this. I've been on the pod a couple times.
True.
Matt is my big, so if you know
Yes.
anything about fraternity life, Matt and I go way back and share a lot of fond memories together.
Right.
And I'm so overwhelmed and honored to be able to carry up the mantle of productive conversations. And I have some really great ideas about psychology and philosophy. Not me, I don't have ideas. I'm there to listen, and people will tell me their great ideas. But I hope to bring our viewers some really cool, productive conversations that I want to learn from.
Indeed.
Agreed.
And we're
Yeah.
so glad to have you part of this team, and you really are. And
Dude, let's get it. I'm pumped.
a fucking man. But yeah, October 20th, 2020 till now, March 20th, 2020 when we record, March 21st when we drop. But yes, as I usually say the date, it's March 21st, 2025. And
Every time Jose's picture comes up, I laugh a little bit. I'm gonna say.
we have there. So but yeah, we made it here. We're gonna do what we do best, is do our normal thing and comment on these particular tweet caps. as we usually do, just have a productive conversation what's trending in our world. But as always, we always do our various shows in all sports and sports news, entertainment, and culture. That's our big four. And we're always going to do that. We will begin our new chapter today and a new road to 1,000 pods and thousands of pods after that, and thousands and thousands and thousands more as we continue to grow this business, grow this brand, and solidify this platform. So it's a great day, and thank you all for being a part of it. And it's a
No
great
doubt.
day.
Can I curse on the pod, Matt? Is that allowed?
Yes, yeah, that's fine.
Fuck yeah, let's go. Fire
Awesome,
me the
dude.
fuck up. All right, I'm good. Let's go. Let's move. Let's get cooking.
Excellent. So yeah, this is pretty dope. Pretty dope.
is.
So the one thing we will do before we start talking about what's trending in this second to last week of March 2025, I will present to you a 500th episode reel where we play some of our best moments from the last 500 episodes. So with this, which is also now available on YouTube, we will post it on TikTok and all the other social media platforms, but mainly on YouTube. But yeah, this just basically brings the concept of the podcast, shows what we do every single week. And I just encourage you to watch it many a times, share it with your friends and family and important friends and family who gives opportunities as well.
Unimportant ones, honestly.
Unimportant
yeah,
ones.
no,
too,
I
of
mean,
course.
literally anyone
Everybody.
is good for
Exactly.
views. Yeah, clicks are good.
Absolutely.
Honestly, just like open the episode and play it while you sleep. It'll be great.
Can you
Right.
imagine?
So
Hey, listen, monetize the way you can now. That's supporting.
exactly. But most importantly, though, but the main thing here with this video is just to celebrate what we've done up until this point and what we'll do in the future. So let me present to you the 500th reel. The video, what did I call it specifically? This is the first 500 episodes are real. So let's watch this montage right now. Who's ready?
Come
I'm
on
ready.
now.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm gonna sound so small.
What's up, everybody? Okay, it works. Great. All right, here it is. The 500th reel, which is available on YouTube right now. So the first 500 episodes, here it is. What's up, everybody? The world is a better place because you are here to join us. My name is Matt Brown, and I am the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. New York Yankees lose Game 5 by a score of 7-6 over the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers win their 8th ever World Series,
Painful, dude.
and the Yankees are embarrassed and disgraced by having truly one of the worst World Series games of all time. But Saquon Barkley decided to go to the number one arch rival of the New York Giants. And when we see a fan favorite go to a team that we despise and hate so much, we have a right to be upset about it.
Did y'all see the fight last weekend where Sean Strickland lost his belt to DDP? Kind of crazy how it was judged. I'm not gonna lie,
Look at that
I'm a
face.
little split on it myself.
We have USC going to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's opening as the favorites at -3. How is this rivalry game going to go?
I think USC's defense is pathetic. Besides Caleb Williams, this team is just not good.
And the Knicks are getting Karl Anthony Towns. One hand, the New York Knicks have got the center that they need, especially amongst Mitch Robinson's injury, and an all-star center and an all-NBA center, even though some people worry about his softness. But when he's on point, the man gets boards, shoots threes, and a top 3 NBA center. Has UConn changed your mind?
UConn is shocked me. UConn's been the best team in the entire tournament.
Cody Rhodes is the one to dethrone Roman Reigns from the greatest title reign we have seen in recent times.
Look at all those hearts
Police
there.
telling us a 50-year-old man was struck in the chest.
Don't look at these
The CEO of
hearts.
United Health was the person who they believe was targeted.
I don't know if it'll change anything.
I think I like that one.
It might not be the worst idea for them to sit down and be like, you know what? Nobody likes us. We charge people too much. Nobody likes us. Everyone is mad about this industry. We really probably should come up with a better way forward to, you know, one, help people. God forbid. But two, maybe more importantly, not die. We're too quick to be violent with one another. We're just too quick, too casual with people.
You can't
Violence
just
leaves
respawn like
scars.
in a video game. It's one and done.
The
And
tail of the tape, I guess you would call it. It seems young men, a mixed bag of almost every minority, and people that didn't graduate college kind of got this one for Trump.
I think that this is about men and women. I don't know that it needs to be any deeper than that. Maya Angelou, she said, when people show you who they are, believe them. You take that how you want to take that about whether or not rhetoric means anything.
I know. Hey, I ought to leave the unfair with the name.
the great Kendrick Lamar sealed the deal in the Drake and Kendrick rap beef. He had a big concert known as the Pop-Up Show out in Los Angeles on Wednesday night in the Forum in Inglewood, California. Tell me, who do you think is going to be the new CEO or group of CEOs for Waystar?
People are connected to
Could be
her
Jerry.
in a way because they see themselves in her, and they see themselves in her because
That
there
was
has
good.
not been a
That
female
was a
artist
pick, yeah.
who's writing their songs the way she is for as long as they have. That is why those stadiums are that full.
If you don't know who the Rizzler is, let me show you exactly how he introduces himself. His
Most
most famous
so
person
much
on the
money.
internet. Yes, that is the Hawk 2 girl, a 23-year-old out of Nashville, Tennessee. She has become a little star herself. Are we concerned about
Elevated
AI?
age like milk.
Are we concerned it's going to change everything for us? Is it going to take over our world?
ChatGPT is not replacing anybody. ChatGPT is replacing Google. That's pretty much it.
Not a lot of people have talked about crypto, and I was telling
It's all
crypto
fake.
bro about this,
None of
and
this
he was
is
personally
fake.
offended when I mentioned this digital. He was like, "Oh yeah, well, digital ownership is gonna be a thing."
Which one is he?
If you are cheating on somebody, yeah, I think you should be publicly shamed.
I think we could just do with less public shaming in general, but I live in the real world.
Yeah, I think honestly, actions speak louder than words. If you're not making plans, we keep matching multiple times. Somebody's trolling somebody at this point. Do you guys hate it when you see group chat, when you see people have one-on-one convos in group chats?
It's the worst.
We'll have some fun with it. And just a reminder, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcast platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check out exclusive content regarding the show across all social media platforms. We're on Instagram at Productive Conversations Podcast, X at Prog Hobble Pod. We're on TikTok at Productive Conversations, and Facebook and YouTube at Productive Conversations. And as always, don't you forget, and we'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, Magic Mind. This podcast was made possible by contributions to your YouTube and podcasting platform station from viewers and listeners like you. Thank you. That's a lot of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, no, there's a lot in there.
But
We forgot about
Well
we forgot
done.
about the Twitter intern. Shout out to them.
and still working too. But
So-
yeah, lots of people blast from the past.
That was
Past
beautiful.
and
Matt.
present.
Well done.
Thank you,
Yes,
Andy.
well edited together. I have one note.
Mhm.
Part of my going forward, I will be talking about cryptocurrency. And I
No, we
do
talk-
think-
Well, that's
We
exactly
talk about
the
it all
point.
the time.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
point.
this will be the first time I mentioned this on this podcast, but this is not financial advice. This is research advice, and I research very avidly this space. XRP and XLM are worth researching.
I'll take your word for it. This is actually true. This is a little bit of like, I forget what we were looking at some story. It might have been like the Trump meme coin, because I think we talked about that,
so there are
right?
definitely coins without any
Oh yeah, but so
any
don't,
function.
so
However-
pull the curtain back a little. Dolo also big, like into looking into like the crypto space, right?
Yeah.
And so
sick.
So yeah, me and Dolo privately were talking about it, right? Because I don't understand it.
So Ryan, this has been a like an obsession of mine for the last couple. This is a complete other tangent, and I will be covering this in pods that Matt and I will be doing.
I'm positive it will happen, but
this is definitely something we'll talk about.
We did sit down, and it was actually fun. So after we did our own little, like, we obviously brought our own kind of ideas to the table. So then we threw all that into ChatGPT and asked it to explain. What did they ask? Which one did we ask it to explain? It was like, what is it called?
I don't really
like
remember.
Ether,
but
it doesn't matter.
Ethereum.
Yeah. So we had like literally, there's this whole thing. Me and Dola were looking at the ChatGPT discussion of Ethereum and how that works and what a blockchain. And so I know a little bit more now that I did that. Like I was able to like get terms down. Yeah. But I'm not expecting anything.
The idea was to really try to put the last 4.5 years into 5 minutes.
I'm screwing with you. It's beautiful. So. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah,
Matt.
no.
Just my.
Oh, of course. No, I definitely know what you mean. I was just saying why that was brought up in the first place, part of the culture spot.
Right.
So,
no. And AI, we cover all of it.
Yeah, so basically, just as you see, we talk about everything here. We will continue to talk about everything here. We'll continue to have productive conversations, and we will get back on the horse and go for our goals and make this a legitimate business and platform.
Yes.
So that's our celebration for 500 shows. Let's get back to we have a game to play right now, so let's do it.
Maddie, can I make one inflammatory point on this crypto?
Say whatever you want.
Just one, and I'll move on. All right. The more I research, and again, this is not a small point and will be explored in the future, the more I think Bitcoin is United States propaganda, and that XRP and XLM are the actual chosen cryptocurrencies of the financial future. And I am happy to discuss that avidly. And again, not financial advice, but research advice. And I think
you should take it as financial advice, folks.
Well, no, don't do that. That's against the law. Don't do that.
I'm just saying what I think. I
appreciate you. I appreciate that. Yeah. That's kind. And like others would agree with you. Other people in my life would agree with you on that statement. As I have opened eyes for others. But what I'll say is that it's a very interesting topic, and if you think you can afford giving up, a luxury coffee at the beginning of the day, these things I'm talking about are $2.50 for XRP per token and 30 cents for XLM, 30 cents at the moment. And Bitcoin is about 80,000. And I do believe that XRP could flip Bitcoin. Period.
There we go.
Good.
You heard it here first. 500 exclusive. Take it to the bank. No one said that, but take it to the bank.
Yeah, we're getting on a slippery slope, brother.
No one said that.
But I will say,
no one said that.
You could soundbite this. XRP is the future of financial cryptocurrency, finance industry transfer. Period. Mark it down.
All right.
We're talking about finance. Jose's picture comes back up.
I know his picture, but I know.
Like you said, you heard it there first. But all right, let's talk. I remember when I saw Derek Jeter's celebration ceremony, and he said, "Well, we got a game, so let's do what we do best."
We got a game. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first thing, we'll make it nice and easy for you. And I thought of you when I saw this, Andy. It's called Your Typical Local Man. And I'll just let the clip play for itself. It's just a bunch of dudes about to do some dude stuff right now. So let me show you this clip.
Today I'm ordering pizza for the first time.
What can I get you?
Could I have one slice of cheese pizza, but keep it low on the cheese because I'm lactose intolerant. Also, sprinkle 1 or 2 pepperonis on there, but not too many because I'm trying to watch my sodium. Actually, scratch that. Just throw some mushrooms on that thing. And 1 Bev, please. Also, how about that weather?
Okay, that'll be $5.
$5? Not today.
What?
Today I'm
World of Jeb if you want to see what they're doing.
Nice. That's
I
a good
don't know.
bit.
I'm scared if I see what they're doing. I would be scared if they walked into my store. Feel like children of the corner. Right? I know they're
they
adults,
really are.
but
I have a conspiracy theory about this group.
so you know them?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay.
I'm going out on a limb
Okay.
here after seeing them for the first and only time just now live here on the 500th show. I am going to infer that unfortunately in that group, one of those boys is head over heels in love with improv and theater.
Definitely.
And unfortunately for him, he has convinced his friends that this is a lucrative and funny idea. And it is. And I'm not here to shit on it. It is really funny. But no, I'm more just saying that yeah, one of those kids is definitely in the improv troupe. I don't know which one.
And one of them is probably what's it called? Into another one, but they're both different from the one who's into improv. It's gonna be a mess.
Listen, that's for the next 10 years of their life. Okay?
Right, that'll be a secret
not
for
now
now.
issue.
Yes.
Find yourself. You find yourself in college, all right?
Find
you do
yourself
some
doing
improv. You film some funny TikTok jokes with your friends. You maybe I don't know. You find yourself.
You find yourself. What do you think, Jose? What would you do? They roll up to your place of work asking you a question. And obviously, you don't work at a pizza place, but if you did, let's pretend.
He used
Jose's
to.
Pizza.
I used to.
Oh, perfect. Used to. Wait, which
he
pizza
told us
place
some
did you used to work at?
stories in like episode 10.
I used to be a manager at Pizza Hut.
Oh wow! So like the pizza place. I see how it is.
The pizza place. Wow, that's inflammatory. I'm from.
No, I don't
New
mean
York
like
City,
the
my
best
friend.
pizza. I mean specifically like when you think of manager at a pizza place, it's like a Domino's or like a Pizza Hut.
Okay,
and so that's
Right.
what I meant by that. Like this
Fair
is
enough.
the job that people assume in their mind when you say manager at a pizza place. So what would you do, Jose, if this happened to you while managing your Pizza Hut?
Easy. I kick them out and lock the door.
There's a lot of them. Do you think you could get them all out there?
I'll get them all out. Trust me. I'll get my broom or something.
The broom.
Jose's taking out it's cleaning the restaurant with his broom.
I have no problems with kicking them out. I used to close that store on a Saturday at 9 p.m. So
I don't believe they're supposed to close at 9 p.m. on
no,
Saturday.
we're not. We're supposed to stay open till at the time. This was so long ago. This got to be like 20 years ago. But I think we were supposed to be open till 11. I ain't staying 11. Hell no.
You're lucky. Now they're open till like 2. I feel like.
Yeah, Domino's is open till 3 in the morning.
Wow.
Jose would have had that thing closed by 4 p.m. before dinner.
So you know my ass is showing up at 3 a.m. looking for pizza though. Like, come
he
on.
says,
now.
you know what? You want Domino's? You come get a nice late afternoon snack. You don't come for dinner or late night bites.
The oven's off, sir. The oven is off. It's 6 p.m. The oven's off.
I'm not even gonna lie. So those Saturdays, I would take money from the till and tell everybody to leave at 9. Pay everybody off so they don't snitch on me and go straight to the strip club right after.
Hey, listen, it only worked because of the larceny, guy. It's a key part to the plan. If you don't steal first, you're gonna get ratted out.
Yeah,
so
don't spend your money. Take the company's money.
If you're gonna bribe people, make sure you're taking that from somewhere else as well.
Correct. This is a great pitch for hush money, honestly.
Yeah. Did you? Question, and I think I know the answer, but we'll ask just for completion's sake. The money that you used at the strip club, I assume that also came from your place of work.
Oh yeah, I wasn't spending my money.
I figured that was the answer, but I simply wanted to ask.
I think it came. I think I stole around. They got me. For like almost.
They got you?
No, So here's a quick story. So they got me for 10, but I knew that the store manager was sleeping with an underage girl, so I threatened to snitch him.
You blackmailed him.
If he snitched me out, I'll snitch him out. And
Dude,
so he
hush money up.
Honestly,
right now.
this went from I used to close the store early to I stole from Pizza and also I blackmailed my manager.
Yeah.
And it did that seamlessly without any change in inflection on Jose's voice.
Wow.
I'll say this to the local man skit. since that's technically what we're talking about. I think this is just me. Jose actually embodies the true local man more so than that skit does. I think if they were doing a real local man skit, they would have had focus on the guy behind the counter and his various attempts to not work while also getting extra money, because that's what the real local man does. So that's your next skit idea. I don't know how you're going to get 12 people there, but you could certainly give it a try.
I got a lot of desperate friends looking for work.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
you could do a whole pop-up restaurant for the skit. That would be
I
kind of
really
fun.
could. You just give me a
live
time and a
theater. No one
place.
would even know. They wouldn't even know that it was not real until like the skit happened.
Yeah, you just tell the actors that it's like, you know, a big piece of work, but it's actually just a restaurant we're working at.
Yeah.
Dude. Well, on that note, let's move on to some other things. So, you got a couple conspiracies to talk about that unfolded during the past week.
Love those.
Let's have KFC explain the new pyramid conspiracy theories that took place. Let's talk to KFC on this one.
Folks, because new radar imaging from underneath the Pyramid of Khafra may change every single thing we've ever known about human civilization. This is the Pyramid of Khafra. It's the second Great Pyramid of Giza. The first Great Pyramid of Giza was built for the pharaoh Khufu. This was built by his son Khafre, and they used synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography to look inside and underneath this pyramid, and what they found changes everything we've ever thought. Underneath this pyramid are these cylinders. They go 600 meters deep, and they have some sort of coil wrapped around it. People don't know what those are. Some people are speculating it might be a walkway. Some people think it might be something to conduct electricity, but these go 600 meters underneath. That's only the beginning, because attached to those cylinders are these gigantic cube chambers. I believe they're made of red granite. They're 80 meters by 80 meters. The entire structure goes 2 kilometers underneath the surface of the Great Pyramid of Khafre. They also discovered an entirely new chamber inside the pyramid, and they discovered that all the pyramids in the area are connected by this underground structure. Now, I believe if my timeline's correct, they did the synthetic aperture radar and the seismic activity back in 2022, but just on March 15th of this year is when they put out a press release with all the findings. This is bananas. This is crazy. This changes everything. Like, I've always been a skeptic of the pyramids. No surprise. I do a goddamn series on Instagram where I wear tinfoil hats. But there's always been people who explain that the pyramids were built by slaves, and you just don't understand the sheer scope of how many people they enslaved. And so it was possible for them to just pull it with ropes on ramps and build the pyramids. This shit, this ain't being built by people from 2000 BC, okay? Nobody's building 2 kilometers worth of cylinders underneath the ground with spiraling coils wrapped around it, you know, using sticks and stones. Now, the first place that people jump to when you talk about pyramids are, of course, aliens. Shout out to the Anunnaki. Anyone who's ever watched Ancient Aliens knows that the Anunnaki come from the planet Nibiru, and they're an advanced species of humanoid aliens who have the technology and the knowledge to build the pyramids. But I think it's much more likely that this is evidence of an advanced civilization that is now lost. Shout out to Atlantis and Lost Islands and Lost Civilizations. We always view society and civilization and technology as this linear thing that as time goes on, we get smarter and more advanced. But what if it was more cyclical? What if there were civilizations that were way more advanced and they get wiped out by natural disaster, the Great Flood, a cataclysmic event, and that technology and that knowledge is lost, and whoever has to pick up the pieces has to start from scratch. And it's not this thing we continually build upon. It's this thing where you almost have to start over. Maybe these people were so advanced and had the knowledge and built these things 2 miles underground and then got wiped out, and the next people came in and had to start over with sticks and stones. Either way, it changes everything.
Some revelations, huh? What can we make out of this? Is it that deep, finding out that just the pyramids are deeper within the ground?
I feel like we knew this. I know we didn't know exactly the mechanics of how the pyramids were built. You know, that's always been argued. We don't know how, but I feel like we knew deep down, or I did, like logically, there is greater math and technology access for these ancient civilizations that we give them credit for. For sure. I mean, the great libraries of Alexandria are lost to history. Who knows what was in there? Truly, who knows what? So go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say what I find interesting is when you look at history, how like we learned it, right? History was taught by the people, well, by the winners, but also like it's so like we the United States of America had never had anything to do with ancient Egypt. All right, we were not even a concept. So it's like it's not even like, well, we beat them, so we get to decide. But no, like we find stuff that we've never seen before, and then we got to make sense of it. And so we have this understanding of like ancient Egypt as being this very like religious place, and obviously religion has always played a role in every society. It never won't. But I think there's an idea like basically we all decided, oh, this is some sort of like monument, right? We were kind of just looking from our own prism because that's what we do. We build monuments to ourselves and to our faith and to our accomplishments. Like whenever we do anything, we build a statue about it. You know what I mean? So like that's what we do. So you see these big pyramids, like all right, they must have done something cool, built a big statue about it. Makes total sense to us. But I was looking and I was when he said it, I was right. Red granite. I'm pretty sure that's one of the granites that is conductive, that conducts electricity. And I just looked it up while you're doing that. So the answer is no, but the answer is like all granite, it's a bad conductor of electricity unless you compress it. How would you compress it? By large springs pushing down on it. So it's very possible that like movement of those springs was meant to charge those blocks for electricity or some sort of power, which has been speculated before. I don't know. I think of those two theories, I'm not thinking Anunnaki from the planet whatever he just said.
Yeah, definitely not.
From the planet Malik Neighbors. I really don't remember what he said. It sounded like Neighbors. Though.
Malik Neighbors.
That's right. But I do think I wouldn't be shocked if someday we found out, and I don't know, like there's actually this YouTube channel that I tried to write for. I didn't get it. But they cover like this stuff all the time.
Not yet.
They cover this stuff all the time, right? And like, you know, the sea people and like the Atlantis, Lemuria, all that stuff. I don't know how much of that I do. Wakanda, right. I don't know how much of all that I believe necessarily, like in terms of those specific places and people and theories. But I could see there being a Lemuria type civilization or an Atlantean type civilization. I doubt they lived underwater, but like that was more advanced than we understand and could create, primitive electrical towers and made them pyramids sort of thing. Like I could see that. I could be persuaded that that might be true. And this, frankly, this does prove it because 600 meters deep, if you send a dude down there to dig that hole, they'll die, and then the next person will die, and then probably one or two people after that will die, and then the person who finally gets to 600 meters will die because they can't get back up.
Yep.
So the 600 meters is far too deep to be dug completely by hand. Certainly at the size that they're dug, where they're just like fitting a cylinder. Like if you dig really big, maybe with ladders and things, but I don't know. That feels to me like that would take a family, a generation, to dig those holes. 600 meters, multiple 600-meter holes. So that
Jose,
to me is a lot.
My fault. Jose, what do you think?
I think they're whatever they're smoking. I want some of that too. So,
so you think that what does that mean? Do you think that the holes aren't really there, or that we're just
no? I don't think the holes are really there. I think they're just some guy with. I'm not gonna listen to a guy with some aluminum foil on top of his head.
Well, in fairness, he put it on. It wasn't there the whole time.
Well, in fairness, if you got balls to put that, I'm not trusting you, right?
I think he said his article was from 2022. I believe. I don't know what article he's referencing now. We don't know his source.
He's not big on that.
But it was a main story from, the whole week. That's just what's
for sure. Here's what I'll say. Matt, what do you think? First of all.
What do I think? I could care less, to be honest with you.
Care less? Well, you gotta have an idea. Who built the pyramids, Matt?
The slaves.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Slaves. That's it.
I do think.
There's a lot of slaves back then.
I agree
yeah.
there were slaves, but I think we are not giving these ancient civilizations enough credit for their mechanical engineering prowess. And I think
it is fascinating. And I will say one thing.
Sure.
These ancient civilizations that may have been wiped out, Atlantis, all of that, and these is that the right word? Calligraphies?
Calligraphy?
Calligraphy, yeah.
Like the pictures, the pictures.
Yeah, hieroglyphs. Oh, you're right.
Of these very unique looking creatures. I think that's worth noting. So
Yeah.
maybe there could be something there. I won't lie.
There you go,
Unless
Matt.
it's
I'm with
somebody's
you.
imagination.
Aliens.
Aliens. Oh, Jose's with the Anunnaki and Malik Neighbors.
Yes, let's go. Malik Neighbors, #1, baby. Let's get it.
Aliens and Malik Neighbors. He would be so thrilled to be in the same sentence.
Aliens, by the way, we're discounting the idea that aliens could have slaves. We're just assuming they would be more evolved than that. No.
Aliens is legitimately an option here.
Yeah, they could have
I
slaves.
hate to be that guy,
way,
but it is legitimately
Atlantis.
an
It could be.
option.
I believe in aliens.
Like Atlantis could have still built it and also had slaves. Both of those could be true. I feel like people are like, "Oh no, it was just slaves." Like, no, it could have just it could be slaves plus one of those other two things.
What were the 7 ancient wonders of the world? A lot of them are like kind of unexplainable, except for advancements that we have today that we don't credit with ancient society.
Like the Colossus of Rhodes.
Yes, Colossus of Rhodes.
What the hell is that?
Stonehenge.
You know how there's the 7
I
wonders
know,
of the world, Matt?
I know the 7 wonders. I just don't know
there
what
used to be
they
the
are.
7 wonders of the old world. So there's the new 7 wonders, but there were 7
Stonehenge.
wonders before. Stonehenge is
Mount-
one of the current
Mount
7
Everest?
wonders.
Yeah, but he wasn't OG. Stonehenge got promoted when we lost all the other ones.
Yeah, so like
when did they make this change?
When we couldn't find any other ones.
They died out.
When we looked for the ones that we had and they were gone. We're like,
one of
the
them
Lighthouse
was
of
like-
Alexandria is gone, so I guess we're gonna go with these rocks over in the UK.
The Lighthouse of Alexandria, and this is in Alexandria, Virginia?
No, it's in Egypt.
Egypt.
And
then
yes,
also
Alexandria,
like
Virginia. I love that.
no, it's also like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, like those old world things that collapsed due to
Aren't
their
those real? Like those are still around, aren't they?
Yeah, but you can.
Hanging
They're no
Gardens?
longer lush. You can
I
see
am
where they
so
were. But
glad
like,
I was not alive back then.
Why? You don't want to see the Hanging Gardens?
No, I want my TV. I want my iPad. I want my gym equipment.
who's to say
and
there
that's
weren't
it.
iPads back then?
Well, right, so we don't know.
Steve Jobs.
So
He
we
stole
don't
the
know.
idea.
Steve Jobs stole that from the Anunnaki.
I like
you
it.
could clip that, Dolo.
Now this is what I'm excited for. We're gonna go with the conspiracy theories again. The Trump administration released the JFK files, the JFK assassination files.
Oh, really?
Whereby President Donald Trump has provided some new details, but non-earth-shattering revelations. But I will say them if we can make them earth-shattering revelations. I got 7 of them here. Number 1, CIA surveillance of Lee Harvey Oswald, where they did pay attention to him. They have records and surveillance of him as early as 1959. And the latest one was in September 63 on a trip he took to Mexico City just 2 months before the assassination. Number 2, the Schillinger memo. And by the way, there's 1,700 pages of this, so we could take.
Thank you so much for reading all of
ChatGPT
it,
for
Matt. We really appreciate you.
Yes, I read it all.
I use Grok for some of it. I won't lie to you.
The Schillinger memo, a fully unretracted 15-page memo from June of 61, where JFK aide Arthur Schilsinger warns President Kennedy about the CIA's overreach into foreign policy. Warning.
About Cuba. That was specifically Cuba.
Yes, the agency has a state within a state, and reflecting on Kennedy's deep mistrust of the CIA. While this has fueled speculation about CIA motives, it doesn't provide direct evidence of their involvement in the assassination. Number 3, this was the one that was the most crazy to me personally. And you have to at least say this is a crazy coincidence. Gary Underhill's claims. One notable revelation involves CIA operative Gary Underhill, who reportedly told his friends the day after this assassination that a small clique within the CIA was responsible. He fled Washington in distress and was found dead 6 months later, officially ruled
gunshot wound.
a suicide. While
Gunshot
the
wound.
ads,
Let's say what it was.
it said rule suicide, but
Yeah, but
but
it's
not
not like
where.
he
It
didn't like
didn't
jump
say
off
like
a building.
head.
It was a gunshot
It also
wound. That's
didn't
what I'm saying.
say
because
back of the ear.
they specifically did it because they know.
Well, it was in the back of the
I
ear,
don't
which
know.
feels a lot. Anyway, we'll get into that when we finish.
Anyways,
yeah.
mafia and anti-Castro connections. Some
Mhm.
documents suggest possible ties between organized crime, anti-Castro Cubans, and rogue CIA elements, where wiretaps hint at mob bosses discussing that they need to, quote, take care of Kennedy, end quote, and potentially as a revenge for losses in Cuba after the Bay of Pigs. The second shooter speculation, the files include ballistic reports and witness testimonies that question the Warren Commission, the commission that made
Said
it
one shooter,
official that it was one shooter.
One shooter, yeah.
And some suggest a shot may have come from the grassy knoll, supporting earlier House Select Committee of Assassinations finding from 1979 of a high probability of a second shooter based on acoustic evidence. However, this remains debated and unproven. Number 6, KGB insights on Oswald. A document from a KGB official, Nikonev, assesses Oswald's time in the Soviet Union, noting he was a poor shot and not controlled agent, though closely watched. This undermines theories of Soviet orchestration, but doesn't rule out other influences on Oswald. And number 7, the final one, no major bombshells. Historians and experts such as Jefferson Morley and Gerald Posner have noted that while the files offer new details, such as unretracted CIA sources and methods, they don't contain a, quote, smoking gun proving a conspiracy. Much of the material reinforces existing knowledge. Oswald acted as a lone gunman, with no definitive evidence contradicting the Warren Commission's core findings. That's what I got for you on this. How do you feel right away when you hear the JFK assassination? Do you just believe what the government told you, or is it deeper than that?
I'll say it. You go first.
Yeah.
Easy. No, I don't believe anything they fucking say.
All right. So what happened? What happened then?
Of course we shot him.
Why?
God fucking knows what he did.
I
wasn't there
think
for
that's
it.
listen, I know Matt agrees with this too. So I think that's a fair question to ask everyone who says, "Oh yeah, the CIA definitely killed Kennedy." Why?
They killed him because he had ties to Italian organized crime as well as Boston.
He hated Italian organized crime.
And the failure of the Bay of Pigs, Vietnam early on. There's motives.
I also think.
I mean, if they killed him because of Vietnam, that was a bad deal because Johnson did just as bad.
And worse, some people, depending who you ask, they think the Vietnam War wouldn't have escalated as much as it did if JFK survived. But
sorry, you were saying something though, Andy, when I jumped in.
Well, here's my initial thought on this. I just think this is another distraction by the current regime to not give us really any information, but to distract us from what they're doing to dismantle our rights and liberties in this country. So this is them showing us behind the curtain of nothing. It's a few interesting details. I do like the detail about
the CIA one. That's a weird one.
It is a weird one.
Someone definitely killed that guy. I just don't know why.
For sure.
And also the the idea. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let you finish it.
Last point. I do think while Mr. Drumpf has revealed to us some evidence behind the curtain, it's specifically as a smokescreen, and the rest of the information they have that he actually has will not be revealed until they need a bigger smokescreen, I believe.
With the Department of Education getting the axe today, that could be.
I'm pessimistic. I'm pessimistic on this.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it.
All I'm saying, yeah,
Okay.
and I totally
No, you go
respect
ahead
that, and I
first.
actually hear you. All I'm saying, even from the start, it is weird. It's just so strange. Nothing. It's not 2 + 2 = 4 in this situation that happened.
Sure.
Especially I think there was a second shooter too. Especially
the angle is weird.
Yeah, that is weird. How could, if he's getting shot,
his head
from
would
behind,
not go that way?
how come his head's going back? Is shooting back?
Correct.
Like I said, here's my thought.
Yeah,
Well,
that's truly the only true conspiracy I actually believe. The other ones I troll with, but that one I truly believe, because you can't get shot in the back of the head and your neck shoots back up.
I mean, well, yes and no, but
What do you mean yes and no? You show me. Let's play Call of Duty now.
When you get Call of Duty doesn't have actual
it's
like
the limp
mechanics.
neck.
If you get hit, your neck goes like that. Yes, you
It's
absolutely can go
idea.
this way. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm not saying you're wrong or right about the second shooter. I'm just saying there is absolutely a way for someone who works in like forensics to say, yes, you can get shot in the back. Your head goes so fast forward and then slams back because you of a whiplash, because you got shot in the back of the head. That is and that's what the Warren Commission said happened. So I mean, we know it's possible because they use that.
It's a possibility, but also on that from. That also,
but it's also could have been shot somewhere else
because the way the head is, it's just you can go deep, and we can't play the video.
No, but yes, to answer your question, Matt, yeah,
play the tape, Matt.
Too. No, but sorry, I agree a little bit with Andy here in that there was not like enough in this like data release to make a big deal out of it. They did this with the Epstein thing too, where they were just like, we got this big thing, and they gave like 4 people one piece of paper, and it had only information we already know. And it was like, and then they started blaming each other for why that happened, which was interesting choice. But anyway, this was kind of like that, but a little more organized. It was like, again, there wasn't anything super new, but they just hyped it up to such a point that it was all anybody would talk about. And I mean, everyone I think has agreed. Like, I mean, you just read it. Like, there wasn't anything earth-shattering in here. Nobody is like, this is it. Yeah. But they just hyped it so much beforehand that everyone paid attention to it and nothing else. So I do think that was probably intentional. And they're like, well, there's not much here, but if we just hype it up, it'll feel like there was a lot here. But I will say this. I think, for me, what I genuinely believe happened based on the new info and the reading that I did after all this, I think they knew they lost control of a former KGB defector. That's a fact. We know that because we know that they were surveilling him. We know they followed him to Mexico, where he tried to like get in touch with Cuba and Russia again after having lived in Russia for 2 years. So I think the CIA, who didn't like Kennedy because he messed up Bay of Pigs, because he was, his brother was in charge of law enforcement with no actual experience. I love RFK, the original brand, not this current new one. I want that to be on record. But they didn't like them. They didn't like them. And I think they probably were just like, whatever, this is just some psycho who wants to kill the president. And they knew about it, and they probably could have stopped it, but they're like, I don't want to do my job because I don't like this guy, meaning the president. And 2, what are the chances he actually gets a shot off on the president? Like, this guy is a failed KGB asset who just went down to Mexico for 2 months, and his main accomplishment was the pro-Castro groups down in New Orleans. That's how the crime connection came in, because he was, the organized crime was running stuff down in New Orleans where he was living and doing his activism. So I think they probably just this is just a loony that wants to kill the president. I think they knew that. I think they honestly didn't care because they didn't like the president, and they just assumed that somebody this insane could not actually get close enough to shoot a president. And then it happened, right?
Yeah.
And then if you want my actual, just for Matt, I'll put my conspiracy hat on. I think after they killed Kennedy is when the conspiracy happened. They said, they basically, someone shot the president, please don't be Lee Harvey Oswald. Please don't be Lee Harvey Oswald. And then it was. And they're like, shit. We knew who that was. We knew he wanted to do this. We knew he had the means, and we did nothing about it. If it was so
straightforward, then why do we still have so many questions if it's that straightforward?
Well, I mean,
because
it's
them screwing up and not protecting the president.
Yeah, it's because they started, and so after they messed up, they just started obscuring everything. I think it's possible that Jack Ruby was told to kill that dude, by the CIA after they realized shit. Because think about it now, this happens at every freaking mass murder in this country now, right? We find out after it happens that police knew about the dude. Knew he was crazy, knew he shouldn't have had guns, knew he had access to guns, and just said, well, it'll be fine. It's literally happens all the time. But back then, like nowadays people get, they'd get fired up about it, but back then they'd get really fired up about it because we were not polarized on, they weren't polarized like we are now. So they're like, we have to hide the fact that this guy was like someone we knew. And he knew that people... like they talked to him. He spoke to the CIA. So like he could, if they asked him what happened, he was gonna mention the CIA. Not because they paid him, but because they were spying on him and he knew that. And that would make them look really bad that they let the president die. Or were so lazy that it ended up in a president getting shot. So they basically said, all right, we got to take out the trash and then obscure everything so nobody knows what the hell actually happened. And then we'll just be like, wow, one of life's great mysteries, and move on, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah. I
put it together. You're welcome, America.
Yeah, you did. Ryan honestly just went on he killed it. But clearly this man, who's ever... no one has seen Stephen Sondheim's Assassins. So it's a great musical.
It's
a great musical.
It's an interesting concept. Have you heard of it, Ryan?
I have. I can't say I've seen it. I have seen the TV show The Politician, which does in the first season have several pieces from it. It's a whole thing, but I've not seen the actual show on its own. I've only seen
it's a beautiful
it in that
piece.
Context.
It's Stephen Sondheim, and I've actually always wanted to direct a version where there's the premise of the show is that there's this guy called the Balladeer who leads you throughout the history of assassination attempts on major people in the country. Booth, John Lennon, all these famous assassinations. So my idea, and Stephen Sondheim died, so I'm not going to be able to ask him to do it, but I always wanted to direct a production in which the Balladeer is actually trying to talk to a liberal, radicalized person who's going to go shoot Trump. But Trump then got fucking shot in the ear.
Yeah,
like, I had this idea during the pandemic, during the first one, and then Trump got shot. So if anybody has like $1.5 million and wants to buy me the rights to do Assassins and produce it somewhere, I have some really great ideas.
Yeah, clearly.
Dude, imagine if that kid got added. But I don't even remember his name, and I'm not going to look it up because I don't care.
No,
but
well, Stephen Sondheim's dead, so I don't think he can edit the writing anymore. But all right, you're right. You're right. I'll edit. Yeah. I'll get the editing.
Permission is overrated. Forgiveness, that's where it's at.
Ryan, you're speaking my language right now.
Jeez, you want to know something in a rare hidden segment?
Ooh.
I just have to show this where it won't be advertised as a segment. I just have to show this again because we're just in the wild part of this 500th episode with the very rare. This might be the only time I've ever done this. An AEW clip.
Oh, Jesus,
Ryan, why is your boy? What is your boy doing? That is.
Oh my.
This isn't pro wrestling. This is sadism. I'm not gonna show the blood just for the.
No, you can't.
Did he just get slooped? Did he just get?
He got suplexed on a 2x4 of nails.
What do they call that?
That's like
they have a name.
Yeah, that's from medieval on your ass. He literally went medieval on his ass.
Yeah, it's a 2x4 with nails on it.
Yeah, that's like what do you do that for? Where'd they find that? That's from the Medieval Times Museum.
Listen, what I will say is I have the highest amount of respect for pro wrestlers because not only are they putting on an entertaining show with storylines and intrigue and drama, but goddamn, they're willing to literally basically bring themselves as close to death as they can. They're the best stuntmen in the world. Best stuntmen in the world. It's crazy. And women, sorry. Best stunt people, period, in the world. And I'm sure I'm gonna get in the comments and there's a stunt person who's awesome. But man, they could do it all.
So by the way,
Ryan,
the name of the board is Spike.
I need your reaction. That's your
the name of the board
wrestlers going at it.
Yeah, the name of the board is Spike. Just in case anybody was wondering, Spike. He's been a part of the story. I'm gendering the board. Yeah, no, this is not the first time we've seen Spike. It's just the first time anyone's been thrown onto them. Well, because all right, backstory: the guy who got put into Spike, he runs a group. The guy who put him into Spike does not have a group. He's by himself. So to even the odds, a little while back, he introduced Spike. as a way to basically get the group to back off because they want to get, stabbed. But AEW does this from time to time. They've gotten into some trouble with it.
They
At one point,
They
I think it was
They need the
Moxley
network to
and,
say like you can't do that.
it was
It's
Moxley.
sadism. It's
Was it
sadism.
Moxley? Was it Moxley and Eddie Kingston, or was it Jericho and Eddie Kingston? Doesn't really matter. Two of them did a spot with a pizza cutter, and then they had a picture in picture.
No, that was Jericho and what's his name, homeboy from the death matches.
Was it Suzuki?
No,
Nick Gage.
Nick Gage.
Nick Gage, you're right. So anyway, long story short, they did a pizza slicer thing where they cut the dude's head open with the pizza slicer, and it was picture in picture. So playing in the top corner of this was a Papa John's or like a Domino's commercial, and they got in a lot of trouble for that.
Another Pizza Hut reference.
And so Pizza Hut getting 2 references on the 5th.
Not currently a sponsor, but soon.
No. I mean,
uh-oh.
You still there, Ryan?
My boy, my Shayla. No.
Ryan.
Edge.
Let's pause this real quick. Let me pause this real quick.
No,
we're
good.
back, Ryan.
Oh, we're good.
I'm back. Yeah, that was weird.
Nice.
I don't know exactly what you didn't hear, but basically, I was saying
we didn't hear anything
old.
you said, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So Edge, who's Cope now, is old. He can't be doing this anymore. Edge, favorite wrestler of all time, and that's why I try and say this because I know a lot of people hate on him for no reason. I think that's stupid.
Fuck Edge.
I know. Jose.
But rated R superstar, baby.
Now that was rated R. That was NC-17.
That was rated NC-17, exactly. He's too old to be doing this right now. He came back to AEW because he wanted to do his thing with Christian. I love it. He should have been allowed to do that, and he did that. He should not be in the world title picture. He should not be on TV. He should just be retired with his family. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with that.
How old is Edge compared to Jericho? Because
he's younger than Jericho.
Yeah.
He's younger than Jericho. Jericho's like 50.
Jericho's out there.
Yeah, Jericho's too old. But Jericho shouldn't be there either. That's, you know what I mean? Like that's
a whole
being like, but what about Jericho? I'm like, you only prove the point for being totally honest.
No, hey, like,
Edge is 51 years old.
Jericho's what, 53?
Jericho.
Hey man, can I tell you that I went and saw, as we talked about last time,
54.
I went and saw MSG's Raw, and Rey Mysterio still fucking got it, man. So
no.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
you don't get
everyone
spikes
that
to the
age.
back. You won't. You
That's a
can
good point. No, I will say
that's a good help.
I'm out of touch on AEW. I have not watched any AEW, and the shit you're saying about it is crazy. So I might need to tune in.
Well, that's why they do
I
it.
just wanted to share. I really only shared
like
this
that.
for Ryan. I just need. I didn't even hear him privately his reaction to that. Like,
yeah, I didn't like it. I can say that. I'm not. When I was younger, I loved like Edge McFoley. Loved that. Granted, that we still weren't there with that. But there was honestly, I was watching. It was a WWE one. It was Drew McIntyre and somebody in a Hell in a Cell.
Was that the Hell in a Cell?
Yeah,
I think that's the only one he did.
And then like they had the screwdriver with the toolbox, and there was a lot there. And like WWE has gone there a couple times. Randy Orton with the pliers on the gauges for Jeff Hardy. Like they've done that a few times, and I don't like it. My stomach doesn't handle it like it did when I was a kid. So I understand that's a personal preference. And deathmatch wrestling has been around since wrestling has been around.
Yeah.
Moxley in particular has been doing this a long time. Only stopped.
That dude is Diesel.
Yeah, no. Only reason Moxley stopped was because he got hired by WWE, and it was no longer considered appropriate. Right. Like if he had not gotten hired by WWE, he would just been down in CZW, or at this point, he would have been in GCW, doing these like every week. So I think that he knows that he's set for life. I think Mox is done wrestling when he's done with AEW. He'll come back for maybe one last Shield reunion to get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then go away. And so he's just doing the things he likes now. Now, Edge at 51 years old ought to have said no. But hey, that's why it was Moxley who took the nails to the back. That could have, by the way, ended very badly. I just want to put that out. Those nails are deep.
Give credit to the ref to make it as
yes.
He did a
They
good
did it
job
as-
making sure to not hit
yes.
an artery or anything.
Right.
It's a
or-
heck of a
yeah.
stunt. It's a heck of a stunt.
Exactly. But it was a dangerous stunt that didn't, I don't believe, add enough to justify its existence.
Warrant the danger.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Exactly.
Personally. But I know some people love it, and that's their
Right.
prerogative too.
Right.
Let's talk about Alec Baldwin now. So did you see this clip of Alec Baldwin in, I guess this was the
Hilaria?
opening of a restaurant? Is that his wife? Hilaria?
Yes.
Hilaria, yeah.
Still, whoever thought it was a good idea to give his family a show on TLC, they ought to switch careers. But look at this. That's caused a little bit of a stir right here.
Oh, Clay Travis, big fan.
Just show. It's just for the clip, though.
Yeah, I know.
The Ilaria show.
No. I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking. No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why. Yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No, I mean, I think this is a really raw show, and it's very real, and we took a lot of chances. And I think that we'll see where it.
I don't care. That's all that matters.
I don't care.
So she tried to pretend to be Spanish.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Did she bring that back?
I missed that storyline. I missed that.
Oh, we
one.
covered it on this show.
Oh shit!
Again, I just that cold. I'm talking. There is a response since then, because clearly enough people clearly pointed out, and rightfully so, how rude that was.
If you've been in a relationship, with anyone, and you're talking about, and you're trying to help them talk about something they're excited about, sometimes as a man, and I can speak as myself, I have talked over a female partner in a way that I probably shouldn't have, and I've gotten that boundary set. Now, did it make me not happy at the time? Sure. And I think that it's frustrating to want to support the person but he was ultimately talking over. He was trying to support, and she shot him down, and that's why he felt bad. That's why he felt bad about it, because he's like, "Oh, I'm going out of my way to hype you up, and you're going out of your way to embarrass me." So that's what happened there, and I think
true. I definitely feel that, and
yeah.
If there was just other ways that you could have used different words to make it so awkward,
Definitely.
I think that would have been better, because there's that banter and stuff like that. It just doesn't look good. Alec Baldwin cannot get any more bad PR. I mean, we know why.
This might help him, in fairness. If he blames her, this might help his PR.
But do you want me to play the video of the response first? Or
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
My fault. I didn't
No,
know
you're good. You're good. I'll just show it real quick. This is them responding, because people are questioning us. And I think they are about 25 years apart. It's similar to a Bill and whatever her name is.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking. No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why. Yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. And that is called, what's the word of the day?
Man-interrupting.
Man-interrupting, which could be a positive, it could be a negative, or it could be a
Correctile dysfunction.
yes. Correctile dysfunction. It's one of our children trying to get into the room. But the whole.
Okay.
Correctile dysfunction.
First off, that's a bar. That's a bar. Correctile
Yeah, I will admit
is a
that
bar.
I do like that. For somebody who wrote.
And again, I think, bro, those are high stress situations when you're being interviewed in front of people about projects you're passionate about. This is what she works on more than anything. He has plenty of projects, but this is the project that she works on the most, right? So she's a little nervous about talking and promoting it. Yeah. He wants. Listen, he's used to it.
While I'm knee.
I mean, they've been together too long for that, I think. I don't think that's correct. But I will say this. Though, Matt, to your point.
In the Jose's famous words, if he worked at Home Depot, would she be with him?
Yep.
Definitely not, but he's obviously positioned himself intellectually in his life to not work at Home Depot.
I mean, that's actually, in fairness, I've never used that line on Andy. Andy, when they bring that up with if he was out, yeah, of course. Would you date someone who's at Home Depot? Yeah, probably, because we don't have access to Alec Baldwin. But if we did,
and his
we'd be going for
money.
Alec Baldwin. That's
but
right.
also his
But also-
mind. He only has his money. Well, and his family. There's a whole. We could go into a whole different.
And well,
He's
let's
got
be
money.
realistic.
Let's be honest. He's got money.
Yeah,
For
he's
sure.
fine. He didn't go to prison, but I don't think a
He
lot of
didn't.
people will go to an Alec Baldwin movie anytime soon or TV show.
I mean, I wouldn't care if it was on and I liked the show.
Well, you're Pope Ryan, so
That's right.
you're different.
But I will say this real quick though.
I don't think
If he hired
America
me, I'd
sees
be in a movie. Of
Alec
his.
Baldwin starring in movie will be a flop.
I think
Alec,
people would be
Alec,
morbidly
hire
curious.
me. Hire
Morbidly
me.
curious.
I'll be in
I
your
think.
movie.
But I'll say this as again, I'm married.
I heard Alec Baldwin movies are to die for, so I might watch one.
Ooh, yikes, boys.
Oh,
Yikes, boys. Anyway,
for those who think Alec Baldwin should be in prison, I'm happy to report that he is in prison. He's also been castrated. That was the comment on that. That was the comment of the video I just showed you.
That's a little funny too. But no, I mean, me and my wife interrupt each other when we're trying to talk. That happens. And I honestly, we have both done essentially what Hilaria did to one another. But the difference, and I think this is a key difference, and maybe this is lack of experience on her part, is I was never on the red carpet at Planet Hollywood with a camera in my face when I did it. And that's the only difference. I don't think it's bad for people to be like, all right, no, I'm talking. Like there's times I'll be saying something and then, my wife will jump in with like a complete non sequitur. I'll be like, don't worry, I was done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and obviously I wasn't done. And it's, right. And so it's like, you do that when you know someone and they're not going to be mad. It's just you being like, yo, you just stepped on my toes. Relax. And so I don't necessarily think that's a problem. I think the problem is they're hyping up a show in which they, a married couple, are together in that show. Like, you know what I mean? It's a show about their marriage and about their life and their family. So that's not a good way to promote that show. To be like, shh, shh, shh.
All press is good press.
I mean, if you believe in that old axiom, then sure. But I think in general, the big problem was she did it in front of a camera instead of being like, also next time, like when we're talking about a show and they ask me about it, just, let me answer. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would have been snarky and he would have been like, oh, okay, fine. But he wouldn't have been dejected. He wouldn't have walked away looking for something to hide under like he did in the clip we saw. Because it is a normal thing to do with a person you've known for that long. Again, speaking from experience of 10 years. But at the same time, like, you don't do it in front of people like that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't do it in front of TV.
I totally agree, Ryan. I totally agree. I just think it was a mistake on her part because she's more nervous at these events than he is. Because he is,
or she might just kind of be, a little bit of a, doesn't.
I mean,
doesn't like to share.
Sure, I'm trying to see the best in people. That video response was funny. I'll get
the response was good.
That was creative and funny and also lighthearted in the way of like, we are a married couple. If we are just like you, we fight just like the normal people do. We just have to do it on a public forum sometimes because of that. That's the reality, which is dumb.
Hilaria,
But that's
very important free communication strategy advice. You don't have to do it in public. You could just not. The only person who can make Hilaria Baldwin talk is Hilaria Baldwin, right? So if your voice is going to come out and say something that's going to go viral in a bad way, whoop, you bring it back in, and now you're done. You saved it. There you go. You absolutely smashed it.
Ryan, I'm hiring you as my PR guy.
Everyone should. Frankly, I think too many people haven't, and that's the main problem with Hollywood today.
Seriously, why do we keep the Hollywood going? Sabrina Carpenter is on tour. She's right now she's on their European tour, and while in Paris, she did this. She did this.
She did
this.
So we just saw, for those listening, if anyone's heard of what an Eiffel Tower is, you can Google it. And she did that with two guys. Now, is this okay?
So, fellas, before we get into that, I have to ask, in the words of Sabrina Carpenter, have you ever tried this one? No one's going to take the bait?
No, I have not gone to Paris. However,
is that what
I've never been to Paris. However, I've been to reverse Paris a couple times.
Interesting. Okay. Well, offline, we'll figure out what that means. But
haven't been so lucky.
The tricycle, if you will, gentlemen. Anyway, yes, I'm a big fan of Barney Stinson and How I Met Your Mother. It's a good time. Anyway, All that to be said, I don't know if you've ever. I went to her concert in Brooklyn. I was with my ex partner. She's a wonderful performer. She is.
Oh yeah.
I don't
I
know
love
how
her
she's
music.
managed this. But she's like the horny little Disney cherub. Like that's her brand, and like it's
Yeah.
actually kind of working for her in a
working
way
great.
where like girls are like claiming this horny
Oh, no.
sexuality and what not that specifically. Maybe don't clip that, but
Clip it. Girls are claiming Sabrina
don't clip
Carpenter.
it.
Clip what I
Don't
say.
clip- don't- fuck it. No, but I do think it's
I don't think this will
It's-
be clipped because anything sexual is YouTube.
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
push, so
YouTube
don't
hates it
worry.
when we talk about this.
fair enough. Here's
But
the
for the
last
show
point.
itself,
If you watched,
the show itself, it's fine. I'm saying clips, they
Yes,
won't
yes,
push.
yes.
I got
so
you.
Don't have to worry about that.
I got you. Here's the last point on Sabrina. I watched her Christmas special. I don't know if any of you.
I
have seen
did.
it.
That was fun.
She's
was it?
very
Let's have
tongue-in-cheek
sex?
comedy. She's very like she wants to.
No, it's silly. Yeah, I like
She
that.
wants to welcome sexuality.
She's like, yo,
into
come here, Santa.
femininity.
Let me sit
She
on your
wants
lap.
like femininity to own their sexuality, and I think it's different than a lot of female pop stars. Not super different, but I think she's done a good job with it. Now, listen, I think
really
she's
do like
having
your
a lot of fun.
explanation.
I think she's.
It's
having
almost
a lot of
like
fun.
you're just. And that's not. I don't know if justifying is the word.
Okay.
Is the word, but as a
rationalizing
the
Rationalizing, yeah.
horniness.
I
and
mean, I'm a
making it-
horny person myself,
I
so
was about to say, she
I
probably
get
just
it.
is horny, right? I mean,
I would
Hella
guess
horny.
so.
Oh,
like, must be. I mean, you can't keep up this act over multiple continents if you're not, right?
right,
But
right.
I also
Miley Cyrus
think-
did arguably the same thing about a decade ago too.
didn't work though
Sure.
for Miley.
Yes, that's a great point. Miley did do that,
Yeah.
and I think it's ownership of the fun of sex and like sexuality and
Right.
and femininity. Like she is literally every night she
Like the
changes that.
like it's like the 60s. It's like a 60s.
Yeah,
love.
she's also like always changing. Have
Free
you ever
love.
tried this one? It's
Have you ever
different
tried
always
this one?
every. So like, and yeah, it's a funny like little tongue in cheek joke, but it's also to empower like. There are so many different people around the world that claim femininity and sexuality, not just men, not just women, everybody. So like I think having fun with that and bringing that to her fans and showing that she has fun with it and she's playful about it. She's what's the word I'm looking? She's normalizing it for these young
Yeah.
girls who look up to her. And I honestly think that's better because sexual education in youth is lacking. And we can use more of it. And yes, I don't think she should be in an Eiffel Tower in front of 4-year-olds, but I do think to own this. But I do think owning the
I like it's
positivity
true.
of sexuality.
But she didn't do it at a daycare. It was her
no,
show.
she did it at her show,
And she does it
Yeah.
every show. You'd think someone would have been like, listen, you can't take your kids. She does this one thing every single show.
And when I tell you at Barclays Center, there were plenty of girls ages 5 to 15, massive fans with their parents screaming for her all the same. So
Well,
that
yeah,
one
which-
that one part of her persona is so
That's just the only thing that you have to. How do you explain?
you explain it as it's owning her sexuality and allowing.
Well, I
her
mean, if you're
fans-
5, I think is
If
what
you're
he
5,
means.
yeah.
If
it's
you're
explaining
5,
that you own what makes you happy.
Yeah, it's a
Simply.
dance.
And
I,
Own who
I think
you
that's
are.
more. I'm just gonna
Own
be like,
who you
she's
are.
dancing.
Yeah, dancing
Yeah.
and having
She
fun.
is dancing. She didn't actually do that. Like, I mean, it was
No.
suggestive, but it wasn't. Nobody was naked.
Yeah,
so
I guess
if you
the
tell your
message-
5-year-old, oh, it's a dance. I mean, worst case
Yeah.
scenario, they're on the playground doing. Ever try this one? And
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna get a call from like the teacher at school, and that's when you just be like, listen, you can't dance at playground, right? You gotta do kickball or something. But
Totally.
like. I don't know. I think that worrying about kids is silly, not because you shouldn't worry about kids, you should, but because they're kids. They don't really care. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing that people don't understand. And I notice that a lot of the people who get mad about this stuff don't currently have children. They're either either they've never had kids or they're like their grandparents and they're just like way out of like the culture in terms of parenting with kids. And it's like kids don't care. They don't care about anything, truthfully. There was this like, have you seen the TikTok of like this? They had like a family, and so like the dad got half a cookie, the kid got a whole cookie, and the mom got no cookie. And it was to see if the kid would give the mom half of their cookie, so everybody would get a half. And I've not seen a single one. There's a trend. I've not seen a single kid give their mom a cookie. Not a single one. Want to know why? Because they don't care. These kids are like 4. You know what I mean? Like this is not like they're not like 16. I'm saying like 4, 5, 6 years old.
And
they
if you
don't
do
care.
see a kid, actually give it, it's a big revelation. You're like, this kid is going places.
Right. Yeah, if a kid can put that higher level concept of, oh, I can share with my mom, then honestly, they're probably pretty bright. You know what I mean? Like, so I think the worrying about the kids is kind of silly because it's just they don't care. They're just there to hear Juno. It's a popular song. They don't really care what it's about. But I think the simplest answer for what she's doing is she's just being normal. Like we are very. I mean, there's a different story that we decided not to cover, and I'm not going to bring it up by name, but like we're just so weird now about sex, about dating, like just as a society, we're weird about it, right? We gave ourselves like 962 different rules because dating went from bars to apps, and like we have like a whole culture now that is completely foreign to myself, by the way, included. I never had to use Tinder. I met my wife before then. But like it's just like we're so weird about it. And
well, how do you respond to it? Do we?
It's just having fun.
But I'm not trying to be the conservative voice on this one, but
yes, you are, buddy.
You sound like
fine, but I'll do it then. So
yeah,
no, you should. It's a productive conversation.
That part's fine for 18 and up combos.
Yeah,
that's still a long time for those other kids to explain that and stuff like that.
But they don't. Again, why do they care?
But what? So it's okay for Ryan's 5-year-old son to see Swingers or no, not Swingers. What's that? Jose, that movie.
Well,
Jose,
Sabrina
what's that
Carpenter's
movie
music
from,
transcends just horniness.
Jose,
it's
what's
not just about the horniness. It's about it's about like the pop melodies and like the messages.
Saved by the Bell girl.
Oh,
I don't know.
It was Swingers.
Showgirls.
So Ryan, it's okay for Ryan's kid at 9 years old to watch Showgirls.
Well, is Ryan showing his kids Showgirls?
Hold on. Is there anyone naked in Showgirls?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It's
okay. I've never seen Showgirls. This is a question. Don't jump down my throat. That was a genuine question. I don't know. I don't know the rules about.
You have never seen Showgirls. That's a goddamn. That's why you poke Ryan. Goddamn.
That's fine. Jose, keep talking for a minute. Just a little bit.
Ryan,
look at the screen.
Yeah.
Who's naked? Matt. On the screen that Jose has the picture. Point to me which of the
nobody's
three people
naked,
there.
Ryan.
Okay,
so it's not. There has to be some line, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
there has to be some line. You have to figure out how these
the line is
16 and under.
So if the line
education
for me
is important. That's all I'll say.
We need, we need to have these educated talks, but we can't be like, well, it's okay. They're having fun.
Well, we can because the line for
age
me
of the kid you're talking to.
Am I
kids under 5 can't comprehend it, but
right,
the kids
they
who
don't
are in
care
high
if they're
school,
under 5.
Yeah,
exactly.
The kids who are in high school can have those.
So that's when you turn the TV
parents.
off, or we got this. If I'm at the concert, let's go get a snack.
All right.
No, I would say again, she didn't whip anything out.
My daughter would be able to watch that. And we'd have an open Discord.
The Sabrina Carpenter, yes. Showgirls, I don't know what it's about.
So I haven't seen Showgirls either, so I'm with you, Ryan. I haven't seen Showgirls either. I'm sorry. We'll have a watch party.
Just any movie with a lot of sex in it. That's just the point.
Right, Matt, you make no sense because if WWE little kids watch girls do stink faces on each other.
Yeah, that was bad. Why do we think we're fucking up?
Rhea Ripley like
it was bad. There was little live sex celebrations.
Rhea Ripley like mounts people during matches. Yeah, like
seriously.
That's right. And rub them shit in her face. 10 times worse than what Sabrina Carpenter is.
Who does it for a minute, like less than a minute, does like 3 seconds, and goes back to singing. No, I don't. If there's no nudity, then to me the 18+ thing is gone.
So
I don't give a. That's
there's no nudity. You could have.
Listen,
you can stimulate sex as long as there's clothes on. Softcore stuff.
I would like to know a 5-year-old kid
either. What she did, I'm saying.
She's also a full-grown adult, and it's her creative project.
Well, yeah, that's
fair enough with that. It's your kid.
The
5-year-old.
No, I understand, but you're choosing to bring your kid to her concert.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true.
And you know who she is, and you've heard the song.
You should. If you're a good parent, you'll know.
That's where I said. That's where during those songs,
Matt, you're allowed to not bring your kid to Sabrina Carpenter, but I can bring mine. And that's totally fair.
But of course, everybody do what they want, and I support that. I'm just saying. Just have more education on this, and we have to point out the thing.
The Eiffel Tower. That's right. Everyone, Matt wants you to learn what that is. Google it. If you're under, no, I can't keep talking. But
well, I'm saying if those things are inevitable to bring up when you're young. Unless you're Amish or Mormon, you are gonna likely.
I mean, they
run
got
into
their own
these
deal.
the sexual there's sexual content that will be there by default. Flipping channels, you're watching South Park or I don't know.
Research soaking, kids.
That's what I say. I don't even know if I could describe that correctly.
No, I couldn't.
No,
I mean,
Matt,
I feel
you're
like...
correct. And I would say this to Matt's point, to the more conservative point, which I typically don't endorse in any case. But in this particular case, I do think there's a lot of talk now about like what parents do and don't have a right to do with their kids. And I think most of the time people overestimate what they're good at. But you should anyway, know like your kid's maturity level and should know what your kid does and doesn't know and is or isn't ready for in terms of a conversation like that. And so I get that Sabrina Carpenter is like, very popular right now. So maybe, I want to see Sabrina Carpenter. Maybe you watch the Christmas special with them instead because they're not ready for the Juno position live. You know what I mean? Like, I'm with Matt on that. Like, there's a lot of things parents want to control that they frankly can't.
Will support Taylor Swift on that she doesn't have to, do Eiffel Towers on stage.
And I'll
Taylor
say this.
Swift's been around for 25 years. It's a little different.
But also,
but she never had to go to that. She never had to stoop to that level.
Well, because she was produced as a 16-year-old country star. It's a little. Again, we could go into that later.
I'll disagree with the idea that stooping to that level because that makes it sound like she's doing something wrong. I don't think it's wrong to do this. I think so. You as like a parent, Matt, you would definitely be like, all right, we're going to the Taylor Swift concert, not the Sabrina Carpenter concert, because only one of those two is going to keep themselves, vertical. All right. Like, and I get that. And I think that's fine to do. But I think the problem we run into is a lot of folks who have a more conservative mindset on this, in addition to wanting to do the thing that's more, wholesome, more covered up, they also want to eliminate the existence of the other thing. So like my problem isn't that people don't want to see that out of Sabrina Carpenter. My thing is that they don't want Sabrina Carpenter to do that. They want to be able to go to see Sabrina Carpenter and have her perform the way they would like her to perform. And that's stupid. Like you pointed out, Matt, Taylor Swift's right there. She is Sabrina Carpenter, but not doing that. So go to that show, right? Nice. You know what I mean? Like it's there, and it's not just her. What's her name? The new one. I hate her. She has the song about not her.
Gracie Abrams.
Yeah, that's
Rodrigo.
No, Abrams.
Yeah, you could go
I
to
don't
those.
like her at all. Go to her. She doesn't do this, right? Like I'm fine with you saying I personally am not going to do this. Yeah, that's fine with me. But what I get a problem with, and it happens almost every time we do one of these segments in our comment sections and so on and so forth, is the people who feel like because they don't want they don't want to see it or they don't want their kid to see it, it can't exist at all. And that to me is stupid. You don't get to decide what everybody else is doing. You certainly don't get to decide what everybody else is watching. I mean, come on. The whole premise of this is we can do what we want, right? You're not hurting anybody. And again, in that case, she's not hurting anybody. It's an awkward conversation. Worst case scenario, if you truly didn't know this was coming, right? You take an 8-year-old kid and you really don't know anything about Sabrina Carpenter before buying $1,000 tickets to go see her, right? And then she does that. Now you got
$1,000.
It has to be.
Like close tickets, yeah.
So it's like you have an 8-year-old be like, "What was that thing during Juno?" You have an awkward conversation with an 8-year-old. Like you can lie to kids; they don't know any better, right? That's like true. There's all things you can do with kids. And I'm not saying you should do that. I'm not saying that's the right answer. But I'm saying like even if you royally messed up and took a kid who wasn't ready to see the show, it's one awkward conversation that you have to have. And then you never have to have it again because you never have to take them to that sort of thing again. Now you know, can't do that. She's no good for live shows. So that's my thing. I'm fine with people being like, she crossed the line for my kid. Cool.
Ryan.
I mean, best of luck. But to me, like, if she didn't, like, as long as she's good with it, this is on camera now forever. As long as she's good with that image forever, that's really all we can say is, all right, well, she's okay with that. I'm not, but I'm not her. I will never do that. I'll tell you that now. I'll lock in. I'm never going to do that.
I'll lock in. Ryan, that was, first of all, very well eloquently put, I would like to say. Second of all, I would like to say that you made an excellent point for why there should be drag shows all over the country as well.
Sure. I mean, I don't get
that point. No, I'm saying like that point you just made is like, just because somebody doesn't want their kid exposed to it or they don't want to be exposed to it does not mean it is not a valid art form and expression for others. And you should not try to take away other people's enjoyment of anything. So
people should have a good time.
Correct.
I think.
Because everybody should live their life for their joy and their
Don't know that
happiness.
I'm gonna go to a drag show. I won't lie to you, but
No, that's
like,
fair. Listen, Ryan, it might change your life.
I've seen one.
been to a couple.
Actually, there was one on my campus in college.
yeah?
So I walked in, I saw that. Yeah, but they had like students doing it, so that was
Yeah.
interesting because like this person would be in like science class with me, and now they were dressed as a woman. I was like, oh wow, okay, that's a lot. But anyway, long story short is, yeah, principle would apply to that as well.
Yes,
Principle applies to a lot of things.
Yes, it
The
But
does.
the
last thing
monster
I'll
truck
say on
rallies.
this, if something happens, honestly,
If something happens.
I like the blunt
I'm curious
approach,
what that
just explaining. Like if you were to have those awkward conversations,
Oh yeah.
you sit down, just get blunt right away.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think that's
agree.
the best way
With
instead
the
of
4-year-old,
tiptoeing.
yeah. Be blunt
don't
with the
know.
4-year-old.
Oh, you don't have to be too blunt. You could be like,
No, I'm kidding.
oh, it's an adult thing.
Santa's not
Yeah,
real,
something like
kids.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have a similar. The one time, so
He's
there
real,
used
I'm
to be
sorry.
Virgin Mobile, right?
Mhm.
Haha, Virgin.
So I would see Virgin sign. I don't know if that's not in America anymore. If it's just a
That's
UK
Richard
thing.
Branson's.
Yeah.
Richard
He's still
Branson's
around.
company. It
So I
is, and he had the airline
so
too.
there was two ways. I would see there used to be a big Virgin Mobile sign, and there was also the Virgin Mobile sign in Times Square.
Yeah.
So there's two ways to go about it. One, ask my dad, "What's Virgin?" Not knowing I was talking about the company. Hey, I'll tell you later. I asked my grandma. I asked my grandma, "What's Virgin?" That means you never had sex before. I was like 7, 8.
There you go.
And that honestly made things clear and made it a little better. I don't have any.
Yeah.
I will
have
say
any
this
kids.
to Grandma and to your dad here. You know what I would have said? A phone company, because it's on the sign.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Exactly. That was the
that's what I
point. They did not know I was asking about the phone
I'd be
company
like,
the whole time.
if you look right there, it's a phone company.
There's
Don't
this
worry
guy
about
named
it.
Richard Branson.
And he's a virgin.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
He's got so much money, physically not possible for that to be the case. But anyway,
Isn't he going to the moon these days? Like,
hasn't he already gone? He's probably already gone.
I
Probably
thought he
from
has.
there.
Yeah, he's from the moon. He's fucking
Yeah, he's
the
probably
moon
from
guy.
there. He's a weird dude. But
He is
anyway,
weird.
Yeah, right.
salute to Sabrina Carpenter.
But yeah, I think that was a good one, and I do
Cheers.
enjoy her music. I enjoy her music a lot.
I like Juno.
just-
That's a good song too.
I
She
like
made
Please,
quite
Please,
an
Please
impression.
Me.
5 feet to be exact.
And she did
That's right.
great in the SNL 50. I'm just saying that's
funny,
just,
dude. She's
I just
funny.
don't want to have those combos. I don't why am I even worrying about it? I don't have a long time until those
Yeah,
combos.
she'll
with
be old
kids.
by then, and then it'll be someone else.
Yeah, she will definitely not do that then.
It'll be Tate McRae. Oh, what if she does though? That could be something.
like Madonna. Look
Yeah.
at how well
Speaking
it
of
works for her.
which, Tate McRae is a good shout.
She'll do that for
A
sure.
A good
Yeah.
show or shout?
Shout, as in like I like Tate McRae.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah,
much.
yeah.
I know nothing about her. I just know that she definitely would do the
No,
Sabrina
she's very
Carpenter thing.
she's a lot about body positivity and uplifting.
Oh,
of a
I do
female
know some
artist.
psycho
she thick.
online called her said like, not gonna lie, I like heavy girls or whatever. A picture of her. I'm like,
So
where
I've
do
seen
you see
people.
a heavy
I've
girl?
seen, I've seen. Yeah, I saw that too.
I'm
I've
like,
seen
where do you
people.
see a
I've
heavy
seen
girl?
people comment that on other people's. It was for even though we didn't do the story last week because I thought it was stupid about the tight dresses.
Oh
Even though
God,
was
that
huge,
story.
That was the stupidest story of 2025 so far. I didn't even mention it. That's where I think that came from.
Well,
Just
she
when they
also
come with
has
that.
she released a line of clothing which she like was again very empowering, and it got a lot of positive press, but then it got some backlash as well.
Yeah, because
I
she lost
think-
weight.
Yes,
That was an old picture from a couple years ago.
Oh, I
think
didn't
she
know
looks
that.
fairly
Yeah,
attractive
that was
in
from
the picture.
2023. Now
She
she's
looks great in that
skinnier.
photo.
Yeah, I mean, I thought she was very attractive in both.
Yeah, me too.
All the pictures. I've not seen a bad picture of her.
I agree.
We're
I think
talking
she's
about
on-
the woman, the tight dress woman.
Oh, I meant Tate
Oh,
McRae.
I was also talking about Tate McRae.
Oh, I was talking about the tight dress woman, but yeah, Tate McRae's a pretty woman.
Yeah,
I like the
I
songs.
think she was on So You Think You Could Dance. Was
Oh, is
how
that
she
where
got
she
her
got from?
start.
Really?
I think so.
I didn't even know that was still around.
You know, I can't claim that information. I have my wonderful off-camera, one of my best friends feeding me
Feeding you
cultural
lines. All right.
information. Well, that was she gave me Tate McRae, and she also gave me a little Sabrina help as well.
Exactly.
Crazy. I'm out here doing this myself, man.
And
No,
again-
hey, listen, I'm a brand these days, boys. I'm a brand. I need help. I can't do it all myself. I suck.
We
Goodness.
appreciate that, and shouts to your person over there.
Her name is Sam, and she's wonderful.
What's up, Sam? But yes, again, ended there. I'm not a Sabrina Carpenter hater. I'm a big fan of her. All I'm just saying is this: it's just weird. That's just weird. That's all.
It is. I get it. I get it.
So,
but like, I
that's
think
why we
these
talk it
are
out, right?
productive conversations we need to
Exactly.
have.
We talk this out.
Yes.
All right.
Boom bap bap. What the Kendrick song? You know what I'm talking about.
So speaking of sex and the city.
Good.
Dick.
Oh, okay.
So Carrie Bradshaw's apartment, her famous brownstone, is a real brownstone in New York. That's a private residency. And to this day, I think that show ended in 2006 with a couple movies sprinkled in as well.
Yeah.
Or there've been 3 of them and a spin-off series.
And the spin-off series or whatever, the reboot thing.
And this guy just can't get a break with all the tourists going to his house, which happens to any show anywhere who lives in private residency. But yeah, this guy's had enough, and he's gone viral this week for it.
Be more respectful and considerate. You can't just take over the street because you like it. I understand, but it wasn't I apologize if it wasn't you. I apologize. I take it back. This happens all the time.
This happens all the time.
For years. I apologize. No, it's okay. But sorry. I try not to do this, but sometimes people cross a line and I can't. No, I understand. I understand you have to. Thank you so much for understanding. Have a great visit. And remember, this is not empty. It's a private home, and it's not Carrie's. It's mine.
Man,
Dude,
I've heard this happen in Breaking
through it. He's going through it. You can hear his voice.
That respectfully,
That's
though.
20 years, 25 years of stop coming here.
Do you think he's been there the whole time?
Maybe,
well,
I don't know.
the joke is that he definitely got paid by the show.
I'm sure he did.
For
Yeah.
a lot
If he was his,
And it was only
gonna
for
be
the
a good amount of
exterior
money,
too.
for sure.
Yeah.
But it is a good amount of money because it's the most popular, one of the most popular shows ever. Yeah, I will say this is a man who I will give very credit to. When you played this video, I did not think he was going to be as respectful.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was going to yell.
He clearly is at the end of his leash of this. Like, he clearly has been dealing with it, but he treated and there were like 12 people standing on his stoop, right outside. Yeah. So like he handled that very well. I'm impressed with his ability to diffuse that situation.
In his voice, it sounded like multiple decades of photography.
And
like,
honestly, he probably has this combo once a week.
Like
that one just happened to get caught on camera.
I can't stress how much, as I heard him talk, as he kept going through it, I was like, oh God, he's talking not just to the 12 people there right now. He's talking to the face of at least 1,000 other people that he was quiet for, and now he can't be quiet anymore. I agree. I think if you're a fan of Sex and the City, and I am, it's a great show. I liked it. I think we should have a no Carrie Bradshaw day, right?
A no Carrie Bradshaw day?
We just don't go for one whole day, one whole Saturday. Let him sleep in, right?
Yeah.
No one goes. We all agree. And here's why I say that, and not to go back into wrestling, but there is a wrestler named Kurt Angle, who I'm sure all of you are aware of.
Heck yeah.
For fans who aren't aware of, there was a period in his career where he was quite good, actually, prolific. He was wrestling in a show called TNA, but he was struggling with drug addiction. And so people would often refer to that. I'm not going to say what it is because he asked us not to, but they had a nickname
Perk Angle.
for that.
They called him Perk Angle.
Matt will say it. I won't.
Well, Brian, you have to let people know. Not everyone's a wrestling fan, but
look it up.
Yes, he was known as Perk Angle. Now he's
right. But I'm saying he was like, actually, this really bothers me, and so everyone agreed. All the fans said, you know what? Let's not call him that anymore. Now I can't say no, never go back to the house. People gonna go to the house, but again, one day, I think we can organize that. Get people on there. And if you're a fan of the show, you should do that. Just make a no-go day where you just let the man take a break because he needs it, Matt. You saw he needs it.
You know,
he was very
from your lips to God's ear, Ryan. One full day that nobody in New York City will go on that specific road in the West Village.
You can walk
unless it only takes COVID to make that happen.
Okay, how about this, Matt? How about this, Matt? Because I like where Ryan's going with like a little contingent because this man deserves some help. So I like that idea, but how about a little pivot here? How about, as fans of the Sex and the City, to be honest, I have not seen the show, so I would not be
I haven't seen either.
But
that's good.
Okay, but I would say, how about we sign up as a group. You know, everybody takes like an hour or two shift and just like actually guards his house and is like, sorry guys, no pictures. I'm
With
serious.
bats.
Like, and you know what? And I think Sex and the City and HBO will pay someone $25 an hour to stand outside that property.
Imagine if HBO paid security.
I mean, hey,
well, for life.
Well, I mean, yeah,
protect his home at all costs.
Yeah, I mean, if I was that guy, I will say, if he lives there, he has money. He has good money.
I mean, yeah.
So maybe if I'm him, I pay a rabid a fan, just $25 to be security. I would be security for that guy. So if you can put me in contact, tell him I'll take $25 cash to guard his stoop.
All right. Well, there you go. Job offer.
25 an hour. Fuck. Not 25 just total.
Well, I figured an hour, but who knows? You'll negotiate.
Well, I
right?
am quite cheap, actually.
So I do want to say though, do we think so this is obviously just one example, and Severance comes to mind, Matt, as well. That's in New Jersey.
I worked at that theater. I worked at that place, Bell Labs. It's awesome. It's
so like,
awesome.
do we think that we're gonna see more of this, like people going and like annoying the people who are?
They've been doing it for years.
Yeah,
whether it's the Amityville house that's out there, the Breaking Bad house.
I mean,
pretty
Tom's
much that's
restaurant.
pretty much that's the risk you're
Tom's Diner
doing, putting an exterior of a private residency.
Yeah.
For life, you will have people showing up.
It's gonna go. You think it's gonna go viral more? Like more people are gonna start saying, "Please stop," or nah? You think most people are fine?
That's
with
a
it?
good question.
Just whenever it's gonna get caught on camera. I can't find the video, but there was one of the Breaking Bad house. The person's just losing her shit. I do see articles about it going on sale for 3.9. So,
guys,
yeah.
I have to make a quick edit here. Thanks to my special research assistant, Sam just informed me that this person made the purchase of this apartment after this show started.
Oh, well,
what if they didn't
they
know?
Asked for it. Then they asked for
what
it.
if they didn't know? No, what if they didn't know?
See,
I think that's hard.
So
that's going to be hard to
know. But
why are you here?
I don't know, but that's tough.
Then that's on him.
A little bit.
Or the real estate agent.
A little bit.
I take everything back. Bro,
Matt, we need to get him on the show. We need the answer.
Could you imagine?
Well, he's not too far. It's an easy search research.
Yeah, I'll knock on his door. I know where he lives.
Yeah, right.
Could you imagine though? This guy buys it, has never seen the show, and this starts happening, and then finally someone's like, "It's the Sex and the City house," and then he sits down to watch the show for the first time.
Yeah.
That would be hysterical.
Well, he at least knows it now because he said this isn't.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, he knows what it is now. But the idea that he didn't at one point and had to learn why all these people were taking pictures of his house is kind of funny to me.
Well, also they would be filming his apartment as well. The exterior scenes. So like he knew it was going on.
Well, it was after the show was done though, right? He bought it in 2006.
He bought it after the show was fully finished. We're checking.
Okay.
We'll circle back. It doesn't matter, but I will say that is excellent underground detective work by my eyes in the sky.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All the love. Thank you very much, research assistant.
There we go.
Okay. There's a couple more things and we'll wrap this up. So I found this interesting article. Apple TV, as I said, as soon as I'm done with you guys, it's me and the Severance finale.
Oh yeah.
But an article just dropped that Apple's reportedly losing $1 billion a year on streaming for shows. Now, to be fair, I feel like up until Severance, not to be rude, I feel the original programming was weak. Obviously, Severance is great. Ted Lasso's great. Shrinking's great, and then that's it. I think Morning Show is Morning Show is great. Morning Show is ass.
I like Morning Show.
Melodrama. It is a annoying, pretentious melodrama.
I liked it.
Does
Maddie,
not
I disagree.
release the thing.
I disagree. That's
Let's
okay.
Go. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. That's fine.
We could have another debate on Morning Show later. I will say this about Apple TV, the company within Apple. Apple TV really lacks from solid marketing in the space. HBO
it really is word
Netflix
of mouth shows.
Dominates. dominate the streamer stuff. And word of mouth is huge for Apple TV. I mean, Ted Lasso is one of the best shows I've ever seen. That's Apple TV. Foundation is very good. It's a sci-fi drama.
Heard of that one, yeah.
They also have, they have a couple really good, sneaky good shows. Oh, sorry. The research assistant has just whispered in my ear, 2012, the house was bought.
Okay.
So while the show was still being produced.
I think the movie,
yeah.
Yes. So he was fully in knowledge of what was going on.
You, bro.
But perhaps he didn't understand that still to this day there would continue to be people outside his house.
Yeah.
He probably said that, yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
You want to know the last thing? Just hold that thought really quick. When I learned about the idea of celebrity, and you really only need one hit, you will be remembered forever to certain audiences. I'm at a Greek restaurant a couple weeks ago with my mom, the people, and her friends. They invited me. This person from the show, 90 Day Fiance, what was it? This Albanian guy, good-looking Albanian
Jose, who is
guy.
it?
It's a bunch of Albanian guys on the show right now this season.
I don't remember. He looked like Chris DiStefano.
Oh,
the guy.
Sure.
You know the.
Yeah. I know Chris DiStefano.
You were having dinner with him?
No, he put the. It doesn't really matter. This is a 90 Day Fiance cast member pulled up, and people were going crazy. The ones who knew him, as if Elvis went in the building.
Dude, the idea of this person celebrity sucks, dude. I hate it.
True. So that person for the rest of his life is going to get people like that, and as long as he knew that coming in, then fine, because it looks like a beautiful brownstone. And
so they filmed the reboot and had to contact him for the reboot. So
they should have, right?
Yeah, and it's probably only the exteriors. They're not filming in his house.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
But anyways, I want to bring that, but back to Apple TV.
Yeah, sorry. I went on a complete tangent. But the Apple TV, last thing I'll say about that is they truly are terrible at marketing their good products. They're bad at it. But I do think they do have very worthwhile products. They also have this thing called everything I watch on there, when I remember to go on Apple TV, that's really the issue, because I'm gonna always go to Netflix and Max first. So that's what they need to overcome. I think.
Jose and Matt.
There were rumors that Amazon's gonna buy Apple TV.
So this is actually connected to that, to Jose and Matt.
They should.
They should.
I'm assuming you guys have at least seen one of those shows, Ted Lasso, Severance, one of them, right?
Yeah. I've seen all four. I just don't like morning shows. So
that's fine.
I think the most popular ones, and Masters of the Air was great.
Yeah. So when did you watch them on Apple TV, or did you watch them somewhere else? Jose, what about you?
I have an Apple account.
TV. Well, if you have T-Mobile, you get Apple TV for free.
There you go.
Oh, so you did watch Apple TV, but you had it for free. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm watching Severance right now on through Amazon. I think I'm paying Apple TV probably still.
Yeah, no, that is still an Apple TV subscription.
Yeah, but I'm saying, to your point about the Amazon merger thing, I think Apple, if they're really losing that much money, should just become a studio and just have Amazon take care of the streaming part. Let Amazon pay them for the content. They could still keep Apple TV Studio on all of the stuff they make. It's not going to be a change of anything other than distribution. I think that if they're losing that much money, I mean, I myself have only ever watched Apple TV things when I canceled and I get it back, and I cancel, I get it back. Yep. But because I can't connect Apple TV to my my Google devices, I always watch it on Amazon, because that way I can put it on my TV. So I'm saying it's already available on Amazon. I think you do that merger, you stop the $1 billion loss, and then both sides win. Amazon, they like putting stuff out there. They don't really care. They make things, yes, but they just want everything to be on Amazon Prime, because that's how they get people to sign up for Amazon Prime. Apple, you just get paid up front. That's the only difference. You're selling your phones. You're still making tons of money on that area, of course. But now, instead of losing money on a streamer that nobody knows about because of their marketing and whatnot, you're just making a show, getting all your money back, plus royalties for making the show and selling phones. I think that's the perfect solution. I think the Amazon deal, Matt, is the perfect solution. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but I do think it's the perfect solution.
Because Amazon does have great shows that you can just combine.
Right. Exactly.
With their
just throw them
library.
together. Yep.
I'm on the same page. I didn't even know about the whispers of a merger, but as someone in the entertainment field who wants to be on Apple TV shows, who has been on a Prime TV show once, my boy, let's fucking go. But that's excellent because genuinely Apple does hire really great artists.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
But unfortunately, again, their marketing's terrible, and Amazon does better in that regard. So I think the merger is a great idea.
Wish it, people.
Yeah.
All right, the last thing we'll do some Adam Scott really quick. I have two Adam Scott things right here to end this 500 show.
You're really ready for Severance, my boy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Heck yeah.
First, so we've seen Adam Scott, really great career, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, have you watched Party Down?
No, that's my next thing I want to binge.
Maddie,
they bring it back, yeah. The Ultimate Struggling Artist show.
Yeah.
But yeah, they brought it back for one season.
They did. I haven't seen the new one.
It's a show about caterers trying to break in the industry.
Matt, it is one of the most brilliant things I've ever watched.
So my next show, also the Apple TV show, Seth Rogen's doing where he plays a TV exec.
That's on my next one. I have one
that drops in a couple weeks, and I will do Party Down.
Party Down. I have another one for you.
Yes.
Slings and Arrows.
Of Outrageous Fortune.
Yes, exactly. It's a Canadian. So Slings and Arrows is a TV show. It's Rachel McAdams' first ever professional job before she gets Mean Girls.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Huh. So it's a Canadian show, and it's all these famous Canadian theater actors, and it's about basically a Stratford upon Avon styled Shakespeare company in Canada, right? And it's brilliant. It is hilarious. It is meaningful. Rachel McAdams is like 19 and just absolutely adorable in it. Like it is. She's only in the first season because she blows up, but her dad is actually one of the main players as well.
Oh yeah, is her dad a famous?
He's not a famous actor, but he is
a working actor,
a working Canadian actor, or was. I don't know if he's still around these days.
I was watching European Vacation this weekend. Mm-hmm. Blake Lively's brother plays the kid in it.
Yeah.
I think his name was Jake Lively.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that can't be real. Blake and Jake?
Maybe. It was a very generic white boy name.
That's crazy. The Lively family needs to be investigated. Blake and Jake.
Wait, have you guys talked about the Lively Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Justin Baldoni? Okay. Because that's fascinating.
Yeah,
we'll probably end up talking about it.
It's Jason Lively.
That's way better than Jake and
Andy, you got 2 minutes on that really quick. You want to say while I go to the bathroom and talk with Jose and Ryan? Whatever you have really quick. I trust you.
I got 2 minutes? Okay. Dude, just put my manifesto on, dude. Just let it run, my guy. No, I'm just so excited to be involved and like have these productive conversations with both Matt and Ryan and Jose. Like, God, every time I come on here, it's so much fun. And every time, because I never have time. Luckily, I'm out of work currently, so I have a little time.
And even when you're on tour, you can do this on days you're not working. Thanks to Zoom.
Dude. I'm locked in. I'm locked and loaded. I'm trying to produce. Again, I'm trying to have conversations in which I get to learn about things that I know nothing about, and I know nothing about a lot of things. So I think
that's how the show started.
Yeah,
that's how the show started over COVID. Nobody could talk to one another.
That's it. Yeah, and I love that. And that's why not only I want to do this Productive Conversations podcast with y'all because you're fucking dope, but I want to do it because like genuinely it also challenges me while I'm traversing this ridiculously vain career of entertainment. It challenges me to stay curious and like stay learning about different cultures and different people and different philosophies and different ways of life. And ultimately, my dad's favorite quote, and my favorite quote that my dad said to me was, he said this, this is his vernacular. He's very wise, I guess. He said, when I'm done learning, I'll put my other foot in the grave.
Interesting.
There's a lot to learn, man.
Yeah, exactly. He said, when you're done learning, it's time to shuffle off the mortal coil. It's not, we should never be done learning. the human condition is curiosity, and I really believe that. I actually last 30 seconds, because you gave me 2 minutes. You should never give me more time than that.
Just give me you get an extra 90 seconds. Let me go to the bathroom for real.
Oh, okay. Well, I actually submitted I made a big move for myself today. I've submitted my very first film grant for something I wrote myself and would like to direct myself.
So who does who do you send the film grants to? Like, is
So
it
I actually got an Instagram ad the other day for this specific. I can actually bring it up because I have the receipt right here of my submission on my computer somewhere. But I got an Instagram ad, and it's specifically a film grant for those for artists, directors, and screenwriters who are they're specifically looking for people who are from New York City or lived in New York City or stories about New York City.
Gotcha.
Luckily, my what I submitted to them was actually the first 15 pages of a 200-page historical true story World War II drama that would cost $500 million to create. So what I did is I submitted the first 15 minutes. I finally got over my, is this not going to be good enough for... No, fuck that. It's 2025. It's time to stand on my fucking...
send it, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to stand... I sent it in this morning, and it was a big step for me. And then I congratulated myself by going to play tennis outside in the rain. And so it was a solid day. It was a solid day. But
the rain sounds horrible, I won't lie to you. But the rain's
but
cool.
you know, it was rejuvenating, the rain. Last thing I'll say is, despite it being an amazing day, I really wish Clemson would have won that basketball game.
I mean, so I do for my bracket's sake, but like, it's kind of fun to have something.
I agree.
So I looked it up, but they're from not Los Angeles. They're from Louisiana. McNeese is. They're in the Southland Basketball Conference. I'm not making either of those things up.
I love it.
So you know what I mean. They're from like Lake Lane, Louisiana. It's incredible.
I know. I just had them in my Final Four. And I almost changed it to Gonzaga this morning, and I was like, nah, Clemson's the move. It was not the move.
No, I do need Purdue to beat them, like breaks off them, because I'm not having them ruin more than just the first part of my break.
Right, of course.
It was fun when it was one, and now that's it.
It's so funny. Allegiances go so quick in March. One day you're like the biggest fan, and the next day they're your literal mortal enemy.
That's right.
Madness. So, Adam Scott, I just wanted to give this great... I guess this was from some podcast of Adam Scott just giving some amazing advice.
He's just like us for real. He's just like us for real, for real.
For real. I actually saved this story on my personal Instagram.
He sent it to me on Instagram, I believe. Did you send
it? Yeah, I did. I said that to you too.
Yeah, and I loved it. I'm inspired. Let's play it again. I could watch this forever.
So this is actually going to do 3 Adam Scott ones.
Come on.
This is the main one. All right, spoiler on this one. Don't look. Close your eyes. That wasn't supposed to be. Right here. Look at this. This is just a great word of advice on this. I think it's appropriate on the 500th show to do this.
You know, like I said, I started, kind of hustling for roles and stuff, trying to piece something together. And fall of 93, I auditioned for Scream and Scream 2, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and all of that. I was around for all of that stuff and didn't get any of it, and went on thousands of auditions and was rejected thousands of times, and made my living doing like guest spots and stuff and cobbling something together. But it wasn't until 15 years in that I even started to get real traction, but had kind of deluded myself into thinking that I was getting traction all the way just to keep going. But then once you actually get traction, you look back and you're like, oh my God, I was nowhere. And the people that loved me were so generous by kind of being, helping keep me afloat with that delusion all along. I think back to starting out,
incredible, because I just feel the exact same way. So he said 15 years till he started getting traction. We're 5 years in here. So we got 10 years to play with as we continue going these
Dude, we're way ahead of schedule.
Right.
We have more Adam Scott clips, right? Because I have a point, but we should watch.
Yeah, I have just other ones of just funny moments of pods, but that I did want to put here in this archive for the 500th show, because just That's what we're here for. Because we actually want to do something so hard, but not impossible. And it's not hard in the sense of actually doing it. It's just keeping yourself disciplined and motivated to do it.
Right.
Well, I think 500 shows, we've proven that we will keep doing this as long as we're breathing. We'll have to yank the mic from me. So I thought that was appropriate running into that while scrolling.
1,000%.
Always been my thing with Adam Scott. When I would see him in a show, usually the show was on its way out for a long time. He was on shows. But starring Party Down, his defining role in Step Brothers and Parks and Rec, and now this, he has a very inspiring career and seems genuine with it. And I just wanted to point those out, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, he definitely does. To that point,
I got to be careful typing Adam Scott for the Severance spoilers. So that's just me. Keep going though.
No, as the resident glutton for punishment here, aka the actor who auditions thousands of times, like as that guy, listening to Adam Scott talk, like God, it just inspires me so much because that is what it's all about. It's about putting your head down, being good to work with, and believing in yourself. Getting back up when people tell you no. Because especially in this, people are going to tell you no. It's life. No matter when you go searching for answers, sometimes you're not going to get the answer you want. But that's what's beautiful about life. There's always another door. There's always another way to go. We can't change the wind, but we can adjust our sails, is how I've prescribed to 2025 this year. That's my big thing. And I know you have another Adam Scott video and I'll let you play it. One quick thing. I don't know if anyone follows me on Instagram or anyone knows me. My name's Alessandro John Viviano on Instagram. You can follow. But my mom and my dad are both performers. And that I was raised in a very artistic household. After 45 years in the business, my mother, Liz Larson, is having the best year of her career at the age of 65.
That's fun.
The best year of her career. She just opened a brand new show called The Bedwetter. Sarah Silverman's The Bedwetter in Washington, D.C. at Arena Stage, which is beautiful, and she killed it. She absolutely knocked the house down. The reviews are boffo, and it has potential to come to Broadway. But that's not even the half of it. What the big thing is that last year she was doing a project that ultimately did not pan out the way she wanted to, and someone came to see her in that project. That person happened to be this man named Jay Duplass, who is, if you know, the Duplass brothers are indie filmmakers and are correct. So they see Jay Duplass is in the process of making his very first solo feature as a director, right? And he happens to be he's making it with this comedian named Michael Strassner. And this movie that they're incepting right together is loosely based on Michael Strassner's life. But they're looking for this 60-something-year-old woman to play a dentist. And he goes to this play my mom is in. He sees my mom, and he falls in love with her for this part. This is about a year ago. He goes to my mom. And again, this is my mom who's been in the industry 45 years. She's never had a movie director come up to her and fucking pitch her a movie. I remember vehemently, she came home from the pitch meeting and she was sobbing.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I have only ever dreamed my wildest dreams that a Hollywood director would come and pitch me a goddamn movie. So she goes on, it's an indie shoot. They film for 8 days, a whole indie in Baltimore. They do a guerrilla style, just them and the camera, and they go and get it done. And they premiere at South by Southwest, which, if you research the Duplass brothers, they love the Austin Film Festival.
I really want to go there, and music festival too.
Yeah, it's an amazing festival. I haven't got a plan, but guess the fuck what? My mom got to go because they debuted, and guess the fuck what? They won best narrative indie at South by Southwest.
That's
cool.
And
if you read any of the reviews,
congratulations.
Hold on, it is incredible. But my point is, it's the persistence, it's the love of the passion. My mom, if you asked her what she's most proud of, she would say the connections she's fostered throughout her career by being good to work with and nice to people in the room. And that's what kept people asking her in the room. There are billions of people. There are so many people who are incredibly talented and hardworking. However, it's about being a good ultimately, good things come to good people. I think that's the lesson I've learned through my mom, and it's super inspiring. And if you read any of the reviews, they're not just decent reviews. They're not just good reviews. They're fucking they're raves of everybody involved in the project. And it's so incredible to watch her get the praise she's deserved for 40 years, the praise that me and my family have been able to give her privately, publicly, for people who don't know her. And
that's the dream, right?
It's the dream. So again, this whole thesis is to say you are never, never too late to follow your dreams. You can always make something happen for yourself.
You're damn right, Andy. I love that monologue. Congratulations to the great Liz Larson.
Hell yeah, baby.
We will be paying attention to that tour going on.
Also, the Baltimoreans. See the Baltimoreans. It just won Best Narrative at South by
if
Southwest.
it's available, is it available on streaming or
it's going to be, but they're doing this. They're doing the festivals right now. It's a Christmas
around
movie,
the circuit.
so in time for Christmas.
Ooh,
it's a Christmas
all right.
classic. It's been touted as actually.
All right, well, keep us posted. Please,
it's about
please
Baltimore.
do.
So if you're if you are,
The Wire.
It's a love letter to Baltimore as well. It's a love letter to The Wire. My mom's starring in The Wire. The reboot,
As Stringer Bell, which is I was interested in the casting.
Well,
but,
Michael C. Williams, unfortunately, so
yeah. But anyway,
Michael K. Williams.
Yeah, Michael K. Williams.
Yeah, Michael C. Hall.
Michael C. Hall.
Michael
Dexter.
K. Williams. Yeah. God, Michael K. Williams, so brilliant, just brilliant. I mean, both of them are, but yeah.
Absolutely.
But yes, follow your dreams, and I hope to. I hope to grow up to be like my mom.
Well, you're definitely making her proud, Andy. And just quickly back to Adam Scott. I might have played this before. Just two hilarious podcast clips I want to show. So, did you know one of those bit parts he was talking about was the Boy Meets World?
No.
Did I play this clip?
You played it for me at least, so I've seen it on the show.
Oh,
I don't know who else was there.
We'll do it again.
I remember it.
Well, we're gonna do it again. This is his guest
role. I love it. Oh, and that's the Remember the
Griff
Titans
Hawkins.
guy.
Yeah, Ethan Slater.
Yeah, Ethan Slater. Nice. I didn't have the name.
This is him really quick. I wonder why I played this one the first
Where's
time.
the rest of them?
Oh, it was because of the beef they were having.
Could be, yeah. Oh, yes, the Boy Meets World beef.
And that's why I just put it. But we're gonna do it again. This him guest starring in Boy Meets World.
So, Brando, I hear you want
looking the same.
Pound is such a wussy word. I prefer. No, pound works.
He looks the exact same. This is from 1994.
Yeah, he looks great. He looks great.
31 years ago.
See, the sooner you hit me, sooner Feeney finds out. The sooner you're back in reform school.
Also, that guy looks like he's 30. The guy opposite.
Well,
Adam
yes,
Scott.
he does.
Like, is that guy supposed to be in high school?
Yes.
Oof.
But probably stayed back at least a little bit because he's the bully, right?
Yeah, maybe a decade, my boy.
So we see right here, Boy Meets World, right?
Good.
In the Boy Meets World, they have the Pod Meets World once again. He was a guest on Pod Meets World, and this is the discussion he had, right?
Yeah.
I hate Instagram videos. Oh, here it is.
Probably not.
Okay.
I gotta restart it. First thing he says, I don't know if you remember this writer who played Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Remember this writer?
Probably not.
Okay. It was the end.
I am on the edge of my on the edge of my seat.
Literally, this has been tugging at me for 29 years. It was the season finale of season 2. I was with Blake and Ethan, writer. You were there with a different group of people. The scene ends. Everyone just erupts and starts cheering. End of the season. Blake and Ethan high five and hug. They come up to me, high five, just cheering. And then Blake and Ethan go up to you, writer, and they give you a high five and hug you. And then after they do that, I'm like, hey, congratulations, buddy. And I give you a high five and I go in and hug you. And as I do that, you push me off and you give me this look like, wait a second, who the are you?
Hey, yeah.
And then you run away.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Why would I do that?
Do you not remember? Okay.
Not at all.
I'm so glad you don't remember that, because to some extent that means it wasn't a traumatic experience for you.
That hug was, oh my gosh.
I don't know if you remember this.
Well, that's, see, there's a little
We've
bit of
all
the
done
opposite,
that.
Andy, what you said of the.
No, you want to know something funny? You know, the only thing I thought about that is Adam Scott is just like me for real, because he forgives but he doesn't forget. I'm so serious.
29 years.
I'm so serious. He played that off so well, but I guarantee Adam Scott will never forget that moment because he felt disrespected and like by the person who was supposed to be like the big dog on campus. But he's like, he did it gracefully because he's an actor and he's a smart businessman. But you forgive them publicly and you forgive them with a smile. But I bet if you asked Adam Scott privately, he'd still be a little bitter about it. Just a little. Just a little.
We know what. Well, you know who's working and who's not. So
he just like me for real, for real.
I just want to say, and last but not least, my last Adam Scott clip. So he was on the Smartless podcast with Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, Will Arnett, another great podcast.
I love that great podcast.
So I think this was him promoting for this season finale.
Yeah.
And so you remember Adam Scott was in Parks and Rec. And he played the love interest of Amy Poehler.
Mm-hmm.
And Amy
Awesome
Poehler.
And Amy Poehler
was at one point married to Will Arnett, and who one of the hosts of this podcast, and well, I'll show you what happened right here.
Have you ever had an emotional affair with a coworker? Go ahead.
Well, I faxed you the questions, Adam, didn't I? Didn't you get that fax?
What was his answer, Maddie?
He said he moved on from that, but
he didn't answer.
Will Arnett really said, by any chance, did you really ruin my marriage?
that's fun. Again, man, actors are petty. Another one of my favorite.
Do you think that was a serious jab?
We are petty, dude. I'm telling you. One of my dad's other favorite quotes, which is my dad's just a treasure trove, but one of his other favorite quotes is, "You want to hear an actor complain? Give him a job." Yeah. And honestly, whenever I complain, it's usually over a job. And you know that old adage, actors can't get jobs. So, you know.
So did you think that was a real jab, low key?
Nah, I don't think it was the jab.
No,
I think
it was all in
funny.
jest. But it's one of those things where it's like,
but is it? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in jest, but it's like, it's kind of the truth.
So that honestly makes this is unrelated, but that makes Blades of Glory make so much more sense to me now. I didn't know they were married. I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, why is Will Arnett and Amy Poehler playing the couple / brother sister in that movie? Now that makes sense. So I learned something new. This has officially become a productive conversation for me specifically.
Was it not a productive conversation?
No, the whole thing was, but this was my favorite fact, was that they were married. But no, Matt, to answer your question, I don't think that it was I don't think it was intentional. I think it was meant, or like intentional. Yeah, he said it, but it was meant to be funny. It wasn't meant to be an actual probing question into whether or not he ruined their marriage.
I will say, so good. Also, fellas, the Red Storm is taking care of business, just in case anybody's worried.
That's right.
Yep, easily should cover on that one.
Yes, sir.
And they'll move to the next round against Arkansas for Sunday.
Patino is an absolute animal. I love him.
Perfect way to end this show, because I have that. Though we weren't able to fit it in the time went viral, I am going to give the halftime speech as the last clip of this 500th episode.
Hell yeah. Right. Fire me up.
Dig in and be a basketball player. Dig in. Every time you miss a shot, your game deflates. We don't care about your missed shots. Play defense. You guys keep blowing opportunity upon opportunity upon opportunity. You're like children with bad things happening. Instead of digging in and be tougher, you wilt. Where is your toughness? Where have you guys been raised that you're so weak mentally that you just give up when something doesn't go right for you? Don't you know what adversity is all about? That's the game of life, not the game of basketball. You don't get down when things go wrong. You dig in and get tougher. Your whole life's gonna be adversity. Learn how to Deal with it. Dig.
Love it.
Dude,
Freaking love it.
I'm ready to run through a cement wall right now. First of all. Second of all, Rick Pitino. Now that is a passionate Italian man.
Yes, he is.
And now I'll tell you, I know you know this quote because it's been everywhere, but like him talking about this Red Storm is the best. The interviewer, he goes, what did you think about the game tonight, Rick? He goes, I it's twofold. My guys, they give me everything they have. I love them so much. It makes me overwhelmed with joy. But when they shoot the free throw and the 3-point shot, I want to kill myself.
I also loved when he won the Big East. So when did you know this team was special? Oh, just about a couple minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he continued the next question.
Andy, where'd you go?
We lost Andy for a second there, but that's funny. Yes.
I think maybe his phone or computer died, but regardless, though, great stuff, Ryan. Great stuff, Jose. Great stuff, Andy. And to 500, and we'll see you next week. Just one show next week, and then full throttle for 3 months after that, starting April, the first week of April. But good stuff.
That's right.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.
See ya.